Hi there folks, welcome back to RRTV's live coverage of the Spa 6 hour here at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. We've had our dinner, we're ready to see this through to the end. As you can see folks, we are under safety car at the moment. We've had a number of safety cars which we'll take you through shortly, but before that, how are you going there, Adrian?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, it looks like they were busy again while we're away, so it seems to all happen while we disappear, and yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? We had our first incident before we left, well, after we left, we saw the leader have an issue, which we'll get to soon, but obviously that's also caused a few issues later on through all these safety cars.
Oh, it certainly has, and just after we went off air earlier this afternoon, the 188 actually came together with a back marker, and fortunately they appeared to have escaped damage to that car. However, as you'll see when we go through the results so far, that car's all the way down in 17th, so they've had nothing but trouble since then. So let's have a look at our results as they stand. So Nutters Motorsport Green, this was one of the fastest cars, and I named it the Mover and Shaker in Class A this afternoon. It's actually in the lead now. Redback Racing, the 118, is sitting in second. Then we've got JFF Racing, the 104, in third. Fourth is Carnet TDR, and then fifth is ANZ Motorsport HPD. So quite a big shuffle there, because when we went off air, Team TTL was leading it, and we had ANZ Motorsport in second, and they had dominated that field up until that point. So, Adrian, quite a change here.
Yeah, that's a big change, and that's sort of points implementing as well for Team TTL. They're fighting TDR, so you know, more points towards TDR if they keep going this way, in fourth at the moment, so just some points damage there at the moment.
Oh, for sure, and if we look at Class B, we've had another change there. We actually had the 223 leading that field for quite a while, and we're talking about Tortoise and the Hare. Well, the Hare's disappeared, and we've got 228 Evolution Racing Australia leading that field now. And then the 200 still in second, followed by the 226 Evolution Racing Australia, and then the 217 All-Star Motorsport sitting in fourth, and then rounding out your top five is the 230 Synergy Sim Racing. So again, we can see the leader of Class B, Adrian, has disappeared.
Yeah, they certainly have, and it's not looking good. I can't even no, that's not them. They seem to like they've dropped off here at the moment. Just trying to pick them up at the moment, but yeah, they've really dropped off the stream here, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have, and the tradition continues in Class C. We had before we had Mad Cow Racing sitting in second, chasing down the 391. As you can see, folks, the 391's nowhere to be seen. It's being led at the moment by Carnet TDR, the 327, 332 sitting in second, followed by Blackadder Motorsport, the 368. We haven't seen anything of Blackadder in the first part, but they're there, sitting in third, and then we have Arm Racing in fourth, and then Frida rounds out our top five. And before we get into the yellows, Adrian, as you can see again, the whole field's shuffled about in Class C.
Yeah, it certainly has. I'm sure TD Racing there aren't expecting to be in first position for sure, so they'll be pretty happy with that at the moment. But yeah, it's shuffled up even to see Blackadder Motorsports up there. They haven't been around for a while, but they've moved along, and then once again, you know, endurance racing, anything can happen, and it's certainly been mixed around at the moment.
Yeah, and looking at that incident, we've got one more lap to go, about 4 minutes. You can see everyone streaming into the pits, but looking at the incident with the 188, that incident was deemed as netcode, and we've seen a lot of netcode, Adrian, in the first part, where some cars have been like 2 feet apart and have been coming together, and it looks like that is what happened to our race leader.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? A lot of netcode tonight, and yeah, it makes it hard for these boys. And this is probably where people get a little bit funny about the quick repairs. But look, I think if the computer thought you were together and we're not seeing it, well, it's unfortunate. You just got to cop it on the chin and just keep moving on. Because next time, I've seen brilliant netcode issues where cars actually driven right through another one and nothing's happened. So, you know, you get the good and you get the bad.
Oh, exactly right. There's nothing we can do about that. Now, looking further, that was just when we went off air, that netcode issue on the 188. I'm just having a look down to where we are in this big list of things. We've had 2 cautions since we went off air. Well, 3 cautions actually. The 331 Triads Racing GT3 brought out the first of those cautions, and they had escape granted. That car was not able to be rescued, so that was towed back to the pits. From there, we've had another safety car, and that was a 232, the Tryhards DP this time, brought out that safety car, and that was on lap 68. Then the latest one, the 391, came to grief, and it's still in the pits being repaired, and that was leading that class at that point on lap 78, and it looks like game over for that car because it's been in the pits for quite some time.
Yeah, and I think realistically, if you've destroyed your car that badly, I think you're better off leaving it in there and calling it a night, because these things do not get fixed like they're brand new without quick repairs. So you're better off leaving it there. Otherwise, you may cause some issue to someone else later on.
Oh, exactly right, and there's quite a few cars out there struggling, and for the viewers joining us tonight that didn't join us earlier, there's no fast repairs here today, and surprisingly, well, I'm impressed actually, we've not had one retirement yet. We've got a lot of cars in trouble out there, but none of them have had to walk away yet.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I think even looking at the penalties and that on here tonight, getting information through race control, it's a lot cleaner, isn't it? So, been well behaved, and a lot of issues that haven't been really driver error, have they? They've all been almost netcode issues.
Yeah, a lot of them have been netcode, and that's the way race control's seen it as well. Now, safety car lights are out. And we're going to be going racing soon. We've got Warren Pickering in the 118. Back in that car. He's 4 from the front, so he's going to want to close in on these other 2 HPDs. He's got his teammate, the 119, right behind Aaron Farmer for Nutters Motorsport Green. So let's hope we have a nice clean restart here, and we go on racing. So we've just got to come up to the source and then down the hill, and then we will get the green flag. We're on the endurance layout of Spa tonight. Now folks, for those of you on our forum channel, if you find the sound effects are too low or too high, you can't hear us, let us know and we'll adjust the volume. We're just trying to get that right for you. So here we go folks, we're coming down. Aaron Farmer's got the green, and waiting now for the starter's orders. We've got a green flag, we're underway here, and a good start there by Aaron Farmer. Warren Pickering's trying to get through the field. He's got an ABR car in front of him and his teammate.
Yeah, it's a hectic start. There was a slower car in the pack. There was an Audi which has some of these cars out, but they're starting to get through now. and we'll see how they go. 3-4 wide, coming down Kemmel Straight, so they're onto it already.
Yeah, and the redback car's having a bit of trouble here with the ABR boys. They're not racing for position, but it definitely feels like they're racing for position as they're making life very hard for the second car.
Yeah, once again, you know, it is a blue flag. You've got to try and respect that car that's behind them. It is a lead car. They've got to try and let them through, you know, and it's just one of those things.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they've got the 104s right behind the 118, and the 137 is right behind them. So you've got 3, second, third, fourth racing for position, and they're just trying to clear the other cars. But now the ABR boys are starting to stretch their legs and moving away.
Yeah, and the 188, it's a few laps to catch up, doesn't it? It's a quick car. I mean, give it 2 hours. We'll see how well they do, but got a long way to go to try and claw back those many laps. They need a few more safety cars and be in front of the leader to get a few of those laps back.
Oh yeah, you certainly do, but we have seen cars come back, and we can see now as Craig Edwards has a look on the inside, he thinks twice of it, and the TDR also tucks in. The 188 is right behind them, and as we know, and as you just said, that car's fast, but there are quite a few laps down.
Another good restart here from the guys. You know, it could have turned all messy there, but it's been a pretty good restart. So the restarts have been definitely 100% better than what we've seen previous. So the boys are doing their best out here today and getting the results out of the starts and putting on some magic racing here tonight.
Oh, they certainly are. They're putting on a professional quality racing, and it's night and day, isn't it, compared to the last round. There was a lot of upset teams and race control and commentators, and just about every man and his dog was upset, but today it's been fairly smooth sailing.
Yeah, and Paul's got around there, he's got around Redback Racing, so now it's TDR sitting there behind the Redback Racing car trying to find his way around as well, as looks like the 188 dropped back down a position, maybe adhering to the blue flags, but man, that car's quick. He'd want to get going instead of getting behind those blue flags.
Yeah, well, he's got 5 laps to catch in an hour and 51. Doubt he's going to do that, but if he can get out front and then a yellow comes out, that's 1 lap down, and he's just got to keep on doing that, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, so we'll see how he goes, but long way to go, and these boys are definitely racing pretty hard here at the moment, so the racing's really at the front here. It looks like a little bit of net code there again. Yeah, this boys are definitely pushing here, and I think it's the 103 has really got some pace here at the moment.
Yeah, that's Mitchell Sealak for ANZ Motorsport, and we know that car's fast. He's having a look on the inside of Aaron Osborne and tucks back in. He's got the 188 behind him, and it looks like the redback car, that appears to be struggling a little bit here.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It seems to be holding up, you guys. Aaron's having a look here at the source. Will he get this done? And the 103's on the outside, the ANZ. Oh, they're fighting pretty hard here at the moment.
Yeah, the ANZ's a loser there. Team TTL's jumped him, and Michael Hammond in the 112, he's 1 lap down, and he's right behind ANZ. So even though those guys are laps down, they're showing how fast those cars can be.
Oh man, look at this. TDR on the outside of the redback here, coming down Kemmel Straight here at the moment, so we'll see if he can pull this off. He's on the outside.
Yeah, and he makes that move. Good driving there, and that's TDR now moved up into 3rd position, and now here comes Team TTL on the inside of the redback car. Yeah, they're not racing for position, but tucked right behind them, that car is racing for position, and that's ANZ Motorsports.
Yeah, good cover off there at the moment by Warren. He's held that pretty well, but he's still under fire here. He's getting his ears bashed up here, isn't he? Left, right and centre. They're really attacking him hard here at the moment.
Oh, certainly he's got his hands full. ANZ's now looking on the inside, too wide, and into the chicane. I tell you what, that's a gutsy move, but he tucks back in and expect him to pounce down here into the chicane as they come through, I think it's Blanchimont. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Bernie, and Warren's doing a good job here. I think he's just needs a little breather to get his rhythm back. His rhythm's been put out of place here at the moment, but I'm not sure. Is that front nose a little bit out of whack too? That might be upsetting his car there, Bernie. It looks like it's poking up a bit, so that's going to be affecting his aero at the moment.
Yeah, it could be. He's now, look at that ANZ just come through under brakes, and Warren's definitely having troubles with that HPD at the moment. Dropped back to 5th position. The next car is the 112, but the 112 is actually up ahead of him, trying to unlap himself on Aaron Farmer here.
Yeah, I'm certain there's a bit of damage here on the front of that car, so a bit of hard luck here, but yeah, Michael Hammond here, he's moving along as well. Oh, we're back at the front. My cameraman keeps changing here, he's finding the best action. It looks like Warren's caught back up to the car in front, Michael, at the moment. Mitchell probably, sorry, Mitchell might have got a slowdown there through on Rouge.
Yeah, I just had a look at the redback car. It doesn't appear to have too much front nose damage. There is a slight kink in it, but in the left-hand wing, which is probably what you've seen, but I don't know if that would affect it. Maybe it would.
They're pretty aero dependent, these cars, so I'm sure he's probably struggling a little bit there with the aero on that car, so that's going to be a bit of a handful for him for now. It's probably not driving the way he felt like earlier on, so he's just struggling with that at the moment, but we'll see how he goes. But man, my cameraman can't decide which one he wants to watch. We keep going to Michael Hammond in the 112 trying to catch down Aaron Farmer, but Aaron's doing a great job there at the moment, out in the lead, and he's not going to give 112 any chance to catch back his lead lap for sure. You want to keep him down that lap.
Oh, definitely. We've seen it before, haven't we, where a car's been a lap down, got back on it, and actually gone to win the race. So no doubt Aaron's aware of that, and he's going to make it as difficult as he can for that 112 to get through.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that car's been quick all night, hasn't it? So they've been doing a fantastic job, and after the spin early on and to work their way back up, leading this race, it's a fantastic effort from the boys.
Oh, it is an amazing effort in a way. That car, as you said, had a spin, and its only way has been up since then. Looking at Class B, well, it's Evolution Racing Australia at the moment, 1 and 2. And that's a 226. They've got their sister car, the 228. Simon Feigel's in that car, right behind them, carrying different livery for their sponsorships there. And then we have the Boost Juice Synergy Sim Racing. Michael Schreier's back in that car, and they're in 3rd. Then we've got their sister car for Synergy Sim Racing, Wayne Burke back in that car, in 4th, and Cody Bird, All-Star Motorsports. Great turnout for these guys tonight, and they're starting to put together a good campaign here.
Yeah, they certainly are. The boys are doing really well. It's to see these guys putting on a top show here in the Corvettes. They're doing a fantastic job.
And Warren's called it a day. They've brought that redback car in. It's getting serviced. Peter Lynn is jumping back in that car, so obviously there's something wrong with that car. But meanwhile, up front, Aaron Farmer is still defending himself against Michael Hammond here, who is desperate to get that one lap back. So let's have a look at Class C at the moment, and it looks like Frieda's back out in front in that class, Mad Cow Racing. James Stevenson driving that car. I'm just confirming, yes, they are in the lead. And then we have Timothy Schweck for TD Racing in the 327, sitting not too far back in second place in Class C. And then we've got the 314 Selby Racing Team, Chris Keeping back in that car, and that car's seen better days, but it's still looking at its lap times, it's not dropping a lot, probably 1/10 of a second. And then fourth is Eric Thorpe, Swift Racing, and that car's looking mighty beat up as well, and but still goes. And then fifth in class is Luke Swinkle's Arm Racing, and these guys are having another great race, Adrian.
Yeah, they certainly are, aren't they?
And we've got our surprise guest commentator up tonight, and would like to welcome the owner of TD Racing, Tim Ballinger. Welcome, Tim. Are you happy with the way your boys are going tonight?
Yeah, g'day boys. Thanks for having me up here, and we're always glad to come and help out. And yeah, we actually weren't going to be racing today, and then about an hour beforehand we decided yes, we'll do it and throw on a setup together, and how we're going is pretty amazing, really.
Yeah, well, you're definitely having a good run. You're second in class now, as Timothy Schweck's just gone. No, he's second anyway. He's just lapped the OSR boys, so that's good. It looks like, how are you going in Class A?
Yeah, the boys have been doing all right. They're still plugging away on the lead lap. They're up into fourth, so I guess the big thing for our team is it's unfortunate for TTL as they've run into trouble. We're equal in points coming into today's race, so that if the boys can hang on where they are and just get it home clean, we'll be laughing there a bit.
Yeah, and we've had an engine blow up in pit lane, folks. I have no idea who that is, and there's a lot of smoke emanating from down there. Yeah, no idea, but there's definitely a barbecue going on in pit lane at the moment. So looking up front, we've had a bit of an issue here, Adrian. We've got Craig Edwards, the 104's leading. Then we've got Mitchell Sealak in second. Just having a look at Aaron Farmer. He's in the pits, that's why he's dropped down.
Yeah, that would work all the time. When someone decides to go in the pit lane, they will drop quite a few positions there, but probably haven't pitted, and their cycle's a little bit out at the moment.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? And I guess we could ask Tim that. As far as race schedules go, has that been affected in any way by the yellow flags?
We were actually very lucky earlier on when I think it was the first pace car come out. We were one of the few in the GT3 class that didn't, and we thought we'd be all right. But given the length of the entry to pit lane, and then the length of time, you lose nearly a lap. So unfortunately, because we didn't pit, we had to pit under green, which means we went a lap down. But we thought we'd be right when everyone else pitted later on, but a safety car came out before that. So we were actually trapped a lap down, but we were lucky during that safety car period when that one came out that the lead guys pitted, we didn't. And a few laps later, another safety car, so we got to wave around back onto the lead lap, and that's all that saved us today, just pure luck.
Okay, fair enough. And but you're definitely having a good run, aren't you?
Oh yeah, we're having a really good run today. We're one of the smaller teams, and we've probably got three really quick boys, which is Colin and Tim Sweck and Aaron Osborne, and you've got a plotter like me. So to have Tim step down from the HPD today, because you only need two drivers for this race and helping you in the 327, has been a great help, and the results are showing.
Oh, it definitely is. And now that you're up here, Tim, I'm going to I've just got to step out for a second, throw you in the deep end, and I might let you and Adrian have a bit of a call together. Don't get up to mischief, I'm going to be back, and we'll see how you boys go.
No worries, thanks for having me up here too, Bernie.
Alright mate, we're into the racing here. We've just got to check what's going on. Just a bit of...
Yeah, it's been a very hectic race with the traffic, and like I hear now the race control's now got a warning for people flashing lights. So yeah, it's been full on in the traffic.
Yeah, just trying to pick up. So I'm not sure what race control can do about flashing lights. They're there for a reason. Drivers want to use them to try and get around the traffic, but I suppose someone's complained about them flashing lights. I mean, I think that's a little bit of a silly call, but anyway, hey, look, it's race control. They do that, I suppose, but yeah, I think that's a bit funny. That's a little tool to try and distract your driver in front of you.
Oh yeah, I think a few of the blokes are overdoing it a bit too. Like, we'll have cars that are 2 seconds behind you, even though they're a class up. You know they're coming, and they'll start flashing their lights anyway. So a few of them are probably overdoing it a bit, but you know, that's race control's decision. We've just got to abide by it.
Yeah, fair enough. But no, the racing's been good. I've been impressed with the boys tonight. They're doing a fantastic job, and watching the guys shoot around here have been pretty good. A lot of netcode though tonight, which has probably been the bigger issue, I think, tonight, other than the racing.
Yeah, I've noticed that actually in the server too. There's been a few people drop, which has been a bit unusual. So, you know, I know with Dylan Shepherd from FSR Racing, they had a dropout earlier too. So unfortunate for them, but it's just been one of those days. I think quite a few people have had it. It's just luck of the draw whether you're in the car at the time.
Also, guys, I'll just jump in quickly. We've had a coming together between Redback Racing and Nutters Motorsport Green, and we're just jumping back to the replay now.
Oh, fantastic catch on that, Bernie. We'll let you walk through that one so the viewers can see what happened.
Yeah, Peter Lynn, Redback Racing, coming in the inside quite fairly deep. Yes, he is. Nutters Motorsport Green across, there's been contact made, and Nutters Motorsport Green goes around, and so does Redback Racing, but they save it. So
looking like those guys might get a penalty out of that one there, Bernie.
I was watching that live. They come from a fair way back, unfortunately.
They certainly did. I'd expect a penalty to be coming their way shortly, and it looks like we've got Brant Tucker down there waiting for an interview, so I'm going to jump back out of the box now. Have fun.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. We might get Brant up here. I'm sure he'll be pretty chuffed the way the team's going today. They've been putting the hard yards in, and we'll have a quick chat to him. Brant, racing going well for you guys tonight. How are you feeling as the leader tonight?
Hey guys, I'm not actually in the cars tonight. I've only recently got home from work, but yeah, despite an early mishap where all 4 guys weren't really paying attention in the first safety car, so while all C7s pitted, the 2 All-Star Motorsports cars didn't, so we'll call that a strategy call, shall we? But other than that, yeah, no, the race for the good boys has been pretty clean. 217's up to P5 in class, and then 218 is, I think, in P7 or P8 in class, so both of them are trucking along nicely, just trying to keep under that incident limit and, you know, looking towards the finish.
Yeah, no, it's been a fantastic race from all points of view, I think, tonight, and I think the team was even in P1 there at one stage, so doing a fantastic job, probably because of the safety.
Yeah, nah, you know, to lead the class anytime I think is a pretty good effort, but Cody and Scott and Lucas and Nathan have, you know, they've been going really good. Nathan had to jump in the car suddenly at about 9 o'clock this morning. He got called up. Jace couldn't make it this afternoon, so Nathan, yeah, he recently joined All-Star and wasn't anticipating on making his debut for ASM and the AEC this early on, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do to make sure you meet the driver limit, that's for sure.
Yeah, you certainly do, and it must be actually quite good for you there. Like, you got the 2 big teams in front of you, ERA and Synergy, but you've still got one of your cars on the lead lap, so that's an absolute credit to the team as well.
Yeah, like, we well and truly in the mix. If anything happens to, you know, either of the 2 ERA car or 2 Synergy cars, you know, we're right there to pick up and make a position up from that. I lost my train of thought there, sorry guys, but definitely there in order to pick up a position if anything does happen. So, just buzzing around the top 5. We didn't really decide on a setup until about midnight last night, again, for the second round in a row. So, to finish in the top 5, yeah, we'd be stoked with that. But of course, we're keeping our eyes forward. Still an hour and a half to go, and anything can happen. And maybe there's a podium chance for us again. We're not sure. Like I said, just keeping it clean, keeping it under that instant limit, and looking towards the finish to get a good haul of points this round.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, mate. And I think, like everyone too, I find this track one of probably the hardest to set up for. You've got so many different combinations of corners from slow to high speed, and as a setup, you've got to try and make sure it's nice and steady through on Rouge and all the higher speed, the kink on the back, and yet still try and get the rotation in the car for the slow speed stuff at the bus stop.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the C7's a bit of a dog around here. That's why I'm not driving, just because I'm not confident in myself, and I don't particularly personally like this car track combo. But that's just me personally. So thought I'd let some more, confident guys drive. But yeah, being also over a 2-minute lap, if any errors in your setup or any mistakes in your setup do show big time. Because as you said, Tim, there is such a variance of high speed, low speed, and mid-range speed corners. So it's a difficult track to set up for, but everyone loves a challenge. So big shout out to Lucas. He spent all weekend fiddling around setups, and from what I've heard, the boys are pretty happy with it. So yeah, huge shout out to Lucas for all his effort on setup work. That he's just done a phenomenal effort.
Yeah, I think sometimes with the viewers, they probably might appreciate just how much work does go into a lot of these cars to try and get a setup, and then you've got 2 drivers in a car, so then you've got to try and get both of them happy with it, and a lot of work goes in during the week to make sure they can come out here and race.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we wouldn't be able to be here without. I wouldn't be here without the awesome guys that are in the cars at the moment. They've driven amazing all season and continuing to do that at the moment. So as long as we can, get one car in the top 5. Bit unfortunate for Lucas in 218. He just had a bit of a unlucky qualifying with indecisiveness, to put it in his terms. So started down in P10, but making up positions nevertheless. And yeah, just always looking towards the finish. Spas are such a difficult track. So many places where you can go wrong, and especially at the high speed corners, if you don't have set up correct, Blanchimont and Rouge will bite you big time.
It's been a while since I've driven the Corvette DP around here. What's it like with aero push? Does it struggle much with that in traffic?
I can't really say personally. Last time I only really did maybe a couple hours worth of practice around here, and automatically decided I wasn't going to drive after that. But it's difficult to say. You'd probably have to ask one of the boys that drove the car. I can't answer that one definitively. Sorry, Tim.
No, you're right, mate. I just thought I'd ask while I was there. And is there anyone you want to give a big shout out to before you go, mate? You've got a few sponsors on board the team there now, which is great to see.
Yeah, first of all, huge shout out to you guys in the box, Adrian, Bernie, and you, Tim. Brilliant broadcast, round in, round out. So that's fantastic effort from Bernie and you guys. Huge shout out to all my drivers in All Star Motorsports, all my sponsors, Rap Corp, Cage Centric, Unmetered Servers, and Extreme Racing. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today. They assist us a great deal, and great to have them on board. And yeah, it's a pleasure working with them.
No, it's great, and it's good to see how strong your team in the last 12 months has gone from strength to strength too, mate. And I know you're playing a big part in that with the leadership you show the boys. It's great to see.
Thanks. Yeah, as I said to the boys in team chat, sometimes it feels more like a full-time job, just especially when it comes to 24-hour events. So much to try and organise, and I don't think people really who don't do iRacing and endurance racing don't really realise how much work goes in to these teams behind the scenes to get everything ready and organised, and paints and setups and sponsors and all that fun stuff. But it's enjoyable, and yeah, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't like it.
Oh, that's great to hear, mate. And with a few races to go, just hope the team keeps going from strength to strength. So it's just great to see you got that one car up there on the lead lap with the big boys, mate. You should be proud of your effort.
Oh, every time we're up there mixing it with those 2 big teams, to be starting off at the start of the year, we weren't really anywhere in the DP field. Now, we're a consistent top 5 finisher and, podium contender round in, round out. So we've definitely improved leaps and bounds, and couldn't be more happy with the great bunch of guys I got. I think loads of unearthed talent there, and just with the recent signings of 3 new drivers, I think the team's only just going to get better and better. So I'm really looking forward to it.
No, good to hear, mate. Enjoy the rest of the rounds.
Oh, we will. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so Tim, looking at our penalties here, Redback Racing did get a penalty for that contact. They got a drive-through penalty for careless driving, which I'll have to serve. There's been also a warning given to the 351 Team OSR for warming their tyres under the safety car procedure, and as we know, they're not allowed to do that, so they've been issued one warning for that.
Yeah, race control's certainly been busy today, but nowhere near as busy as they were in the last round. The racing this round's been a hell of a lot better from everybody, and it's just been great to see and enjoyable to be on the track.
Oh, it's like night and day compared to last round, isn't it? And the boys have been doing a fantastic job. We've only had in the 6 hours 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 safety cars so far, which isn't too bad, and race control's having a bit of an easy night. They'd only had to deal with 18 issues at this stage.
Yeah, no, like I said, big improvement. I think race control and the whole field will be happy with where the series is headed, and all good for the future if this sort of standard continues.
Yeah, that's right, and this is the sort of standard we want. And at the moment, JFF Racing, GT Amiga, the 105 is leading the way. They've got quite a large gap over your boys, the Carnet TDR 137, so that gaps out to 18 seconds. But then the 137, they've got a nice gap of 8.6 seconds back to ANZ Motorsport, so quite spread out there in Class A at the moment.
Yeah, I think most of the classes are starting to get that way now, Bernie. We haven't had a safety car for a little while now. Probably the closest battles are 2 Evolution cars in Class B there. They're running 1-2 there, and they're not that far apart. So, and Synergy Sim Racing just behind them. So I think as we get into the last hour, I think a lot of the focus will be probably in Class B there by the looks of it.
Yeah, there's a bit of action going down in Class C, I guess, with your other car, the car you were in earlier today, the 333 and the 327. But let's have a look at what that gap is. Well, yeah.
Currently sitting at 6 seconds. It's been sitting there for about the last 4 laps. So, it's good to see Tim. Like I said, he sort of jumped. He only brought the car today, and Dolce he's getting in are quite amazing.
Yeah, it certainly is. If you only got it today, it's pretty amazing, all right. But yeah, this car's got a gap, 6.5 to the leader, 10.3 back to Selby. And Selby's another team that's been really coming on strong in the last, probably this year. They've really upped their game.
Yeah, I think like Selby spent a hell of a lot of time in that rough too, Bernie, and when that got dropped, it had to swap to the Audi. So a lot of development work for them boys, and to be running in the top 3 now is brilliant and good to see, especially with the damage they're carrying there. Oh,
that's exactly right, and after coming out of a rough, I reckon trying to dial in an Audi would be a lot of stuff you'd have to get your head around.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I got a couple of days off again this week, and I was mucking around at the Mossport for the official series, and I drove all 5 of the GT3 cars and set them up to get around there. And the Audi is probably out of all the GT3 cars the one with the most adjustments on it, and the variations in dampeners and springs and the rest of it, and how far you can move them is quite amazing compared to the other cars. So to get a complete understanding of that car is not easy.
Yeah, and I also found with that car that if the setup was just off, it made a hell of a car to try to drive, that's for sure.
Oh, it certainly does. It's a mid-engine car, like most of the true-bred sports cars, I suppose. So it does get that tail wobble up, and once you get it past the centre of gravity, the balance point, it just takes off on you, and there's not a lot you can do about it. And trying to get that rear suspension to match what you want the car to do is not easy. And like I said, with so many adjustments, you've got to put so much work into it. But obviously, over the last few rounds, the AEC, they've put that work in, and they're now getting a handle on it.
Yeah, that's right. And it's onwards and upwards for that team. And the small team, they definitely punch above their weight, but they definitely put on a show every time they roll those cars out onto the track.
Yeah, no, like I've been racing against the Selby boys for the last 2 years, and they're a great bunch of blokes and get on well with them, and it's just great to see all their enthusiasm for this sport paying off the way it is today.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we've got another interview down there, folks. They're coming thick and fast. We'll bring this guy up and have a chat. Hi DJ, welcome to RRTV's Combox. How's you guys are what? Struggling out there a little bit. Eric's in the car at the moment. Just trying to work out where you are. About 5th in class, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Like it's been pretty tough. That said, as well, though, we did sort of do pretty well. Sort of while you guys were off air, you know, we ended up after our penalty being 2 laps off the class leaders. You know, we rolled the dice on staying out with one of the safety cars and ended up coming up winners, and we found our way back on the lead lap. We passed, I think, about 3 or 4 cars on the track, you know, still fighting through, and then we got hit with another penalty. I think we were just, like, we were P4, about to take P3, and then we got penalised. Like, you know, we just kept getting kicked in the guts today. We didn't feel the penalty was sort of worth the penalty that we copped, but, you know, race control make the final call, we've got to wear it. But, you know, these things happen. We're just still plugging away. We're actually at the moment sort of hopefully crossing fingers that luck will shine on us again soon and we can start making those places back up again.
Yeah, just having a look at those penalties. You did get a drive-through maximum penalty time plus 30 seconds hold, which is pretty much a lap down at that point. And I can see you also had a drive-through later on in the race, so it's pretty hard luck, but you're only a lap down, and I reckon you guys have got an hour and 22. Let's see if you can get that car back onto that lead lap.
I'm pretty confident we can. You know, we're pushing hard. You know, we're starting to we see some white on the relatives, which is a nice change after that huge penalty we copped earlier. So, you know, we pushed through. We were all pretty close to going on tilt there a bit. We were all pretty livid and, you know, disappointed really. But, you know, we've sort of pushed through and we're just trying to get back into it.
Yeah. So how tough has this race been? We've seen quite a few cars as your car just gets monstered by a couple of HPDs, but how tough has it been for you guys today as far as on-track action and the track conditions, that sort of thing?
Track conditions have been, you know, less than ideal, but, you know, the setup was adjusted to keep it relatively stable. You know, we're not frying tyres or anything like that, which is handy. The times that we've been sort of in there battling, you know, haven't been too bad. Like, not to toot our own horns, we're fairly quick at the moment. And when we were fighting through after finally making it back on the lead lap, we got a couple of good passes in there, which was nice, and they were in quick succession too. So, you know, we were starting to feel real good and get back up there. But you know, as with every round, you see passes that should have been a bit more patient maybe, or gone a different way. But it's racing. It's what we're used to.
Yeah, it definitely is that, and yeah, it's a shame you guys are a lap down at the moment, because you're definitely very competitive earlier on today when we saw your car. I think it was in the top 5, possibly the top 3 or higher at one point earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, we started on P5, which was nice. You know, quality was pretty good. There's some, you know, the guys in the class are quick. You know, the mad cows are freaks. It was nice to be sort of a bit further up to give us a bit of a better standing, and you know, we sort of got hit by the bad luck stick a couple of times, and we're just keeping on plugging. Yeah,
an hour and 20 to go, so there's plenty more things that can happen out there. Hopefully not to you guys, but hopefully it's onward and upward for you from here. But before I let you go, you want to give a shout out to your sponsors or anyone that's helped prepare this car tonight?
Yeah, still looking for sponsors. So if anyone wants to sponsor an up and coming team, hit us up. But yeah, there's still an hour 20 to go. That's plenty of time. Anything can and probably will happen. So we just got to stay on our toes, and we'll be good.
Fantastic. Well, I guess looking forward though now, is Eric going to take this car to the end, or are you expecting someone else to jump in?
Eric's in the groove at the moment. We've looked at fair share. We're pretty well covered, so he's comfortable at the moment. He's got his rhythm. He's sort of been reeling in the 332 car. I think since I've been talking to you, he's reeled in about 6 seconds. So, he's pushing hard. The car's still sticking to the ground, and I think at this point we might just keep him in there and just see how far up we can burn.
Yeah, so that gap now is down to 11.1 seconds up to the 332.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to reel that in, and then we can sort of start looking at the 368 and chasing those guys down.
Yeah, well, it's definitely, who are they? Is that Blackadder out there? Yes, it is. Well, you've got to beat them.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it was actually pretty funny because in the 24-hour races that we jumped into yesterday, sort of we saw the Blackadder boys there, and we're like, all right, there's our targets. We've got to push for these guys. We know them. We've got to go with them.
Yeah, that's it. And I recall a few rounds ago, someone from your team actually threw down the gauntlet and told the Blackadder boys they better watch their backs because you guys are coming.
That doesn't sound like anything we'd say at all, Bernie.
It was. I should have recorded it.
We're sort of throwing the gauntlet at everyone at the moment, and today it's bitten us pretty hard, but we'll get there.
Yeah, no worries. All right, DJ, thanks for popping in. Best of luck for the rest of the race, and we'll see how you boys go.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
So it's good to see a team that's down, but they keep on pushing, and that's pretty much a spirit of sim racing, isn't it, Tim?
Oh yeah, you certainly just got to keep plugging. I can't comment on the second penalty they got. It was me they hit, so I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah, better. So at the moment, Craig Edwards, well, he's got a comfortable lead, 33 seconds. He's got this car really hooked up, but I tell you what, the 188, Josh Rogers is back in that car. They're 5 laps down, but he just set the fastest lap, and he set a 2:03.882. So, even 5 laps down, these guys are still pushing.
Oh, Josh isn't the sort of driver that'll give up under any circumstance. He'll be going for every position he can get.
Yeah, that's for sure. And he's got a few targets out there on that lap. He's got the 218, and let's see if we can get a gap for him. The 218's 13.7 seconds up the road, and that's the first of the All-Star Motorsports cars. So no doubt he's going to go for him. And then he's also got the 169 on the same lap. So that's Daryl Hockey for ABR Team Simulated 2. So no doubt he's going to try and get him as well.
Oh yeah, and he's only got 1 lap in front of that. Nutters Motorsport Orange. So we'll see how he goes by the end of the race. I wouldn't be surprised if there's no safety cars that he might actually catch up to Nutters. Yeah,
well, if anyone's can do it, it's this team, because they've definitely got the pace. They were, I think they were the pole sitters for Class A, thinking all the way back. And yeah. So Adrian, you're back, mate.
Yeah, for how long I'm not sure. Check all my settings. Haven't got anything that's going on there, so the computer's playing funny buggers on me at the moment. So we'll see how long I last.
Yeah, no worries. We'll see how you go. And fortunately, every time you've had the cutout, we've either been interviewing or at one point I was talking and I had no response, and then realised you weren't in the booth with me anymore.
Yes, it's been one of those things. Unfortunately, that time it was an interview. So, but now what we had back up there, so it's all good, and yeah, hopefully we can get through here. So, not only is there net code out there tonight, I'm getting computer drop issues, so that makes it a little bit harder for me tonight. But yeah, we'll see how Josh Josh Rogers goes here in the 188. He's definitely on fire, isn't he? He's pushing this HPD all the way, and we'll see if he can make a few laps up for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a good day for all the cows out there, because Frieda's milking this class for all it's worth. Yes, I know I've said that again once before. It's an old man joke or a dad joke. Just put up with it.
Yeah, definitely an old man joke from an old man, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was actually funny that before the race started, we were looking at, like, in Class C, which we're racing in, and we pretty much said, well, the first two positions are out because you've got two pro teams up there, so if you finish behind them in third, you've probably won the class when you look at the rest of the poor buggers like us.
Sorry, I was playing with the cameras. Yeah. So we've got the 200 down there, Brenton Hobson, so should we bring him up and you guys can have a chat up until Adrian decides to leave us again? I know what it is, Adrian, it's not your computer, mate, you're just ducking out and drinking all the beer, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't have to duck out to have me beer because it's right beside me if I want one, so I generally don't have to duck out, but it's not the beer that I'm ducking out for, it's those grid girls that are serving the beer in the other tent that I'm ducking out for.
Fair enough. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got an Audi off the track back here. I'm just trying to get who that is, and they haven't rejoined, so I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, it's a sad, sorry Audi 351. It's looking second hand by no means. The guys at the workshop have got a bit to do before they do the next round of the AEC, because that thing's looking shocking.
Yeah, I saw under brakes there, it started to get that weave, you know, that unsettling weave that normally says if you press any harder I'm going to throw you into the fence.
Yeah, it's got a lot of aero damage, so I'm sure they're struggling with it, but this thing's must have had a crash somewhere else, because that's pretty hefty damage, and it's not driving the best.
Yeah, I've just brought it up here, Adrian. He's come out of the I think it's about turn 5 or 6 there as you're coming off the top of the hill there after the Camel Straight, and he's put the throttle down. The thing snapped sideways and taken a heavy belt into the wall.
Yeah, just before poo on there, yeah, just cracked the fence, hasn't he? So yeah, not looking too flash at all, so looks like they're in the pit lane for a while now.
Yeah, if he can get it going again, it'll be good. It's probably a foot not as wide as it was before. He's probably narrowed the wheelbase up a bit with that one.
Yeah, we're just having
He certainly has.
Just having a look at that replay, and I tell you what, he did clout that fence pretty hard, didn't he? And he got the tyre barrier to boot.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Bernie, with this car, it's just one of those ones that once it becomes unstable, it's so hard to catch, and if you miss it by even a fraction of a second, that's the consequence of it.
Yeah, it's very McLaren-esque in that regard, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually find the McLaren an easier car to set up and drive than this one, believe it or not. So it's strange. It's just one of those cars you've got to put the effort into knowing and understanding it, and I guess it's got to suit your driving style as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I was quite, you know, as I was saying to Adrian earlier, I was going to campaign the Audi this season, but I must say I was quite disappointed in it when I started racing in it. Just too hard for me. I think I'll go back to roller skates or something like that.
Yeah, you have. Don't worry, Bernie. We all have weeks like that, believe me.
228 and 200 just come together.
The 228 and the 200, did you say?
Yes, Bernie.
Alright, I'll see if I can bring it up. I'm just trying to get... yeah, we'll go back 30 seconds and see. It looks like they're still motoring along alright.
Yeah, I just got a glimpse of it.
The ERA cars actually lost it coming out of the bus stop, and poor Michael Schreier had nowhere to go and made contact with him. So yeah, just a racing incident there.
Yeah, and we've got his teammate in the green room, but I noticed as soon as that happened, his microphone went on to mute. So no doubt they're scrambling at the moment.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
a
look like there's
very
too much
unusual
damage on the
error.
cars, though.
Yeah, there's a bit of a touch there, but I tell you what, Synergy Sim Racing was darn unlucky that that car was going in the same direction that they were as far as the racing line went.
It's hard, especially like a GT3 in these cars. If you've got to make that sudden change, the car becomes quite unstable, and you sort of got to guess which way to go. And if you get it wrong, you sort of run yourself out of room very quickly.
And he did a pretty good job. He does have front left-hand damage on that car, and how much do you guys reckon that would affect this car? Have you driven this car, Tim?
I have driven it. The biggest thing that affects this car is under tray damage. So that little panel damage on the front, probably a little bit in the straights, but not so much on handling. It's when you get that under tray damage in this car, it becomes quite unstable. The only thing I will say about the incident is ERA might get a penalty for that because they did spin the car and then did move. They didn't actually hold position until the track was clear. So that sort of is a reason why the 200 might have run out of room too, because they did move the vehicle with oncoming traffic.
Yeah, and Michael's bringing that car in now, so obviously they're not happy with the damage of that car, and they're getting it repaired, so that's a big blow for them. They were running third in Class B, or it could be scheduled stop maybe.
Yeah, I did look at the way he went in. He might have bent the steering slightly on the left-hand front there. He did hit him with the left-hand front of the car, so it'll be interesting to hear from the boys just to see how much damage they did get from that.
Yeah, and the 228's also in the pits, just ahead of them, so that's Simon Feigl, and no doubt they're going to be looking at that car at ERA to see if they can repair any damage that there is.
Yeah, it didn't look like a very solid hit, but maybe it was, so we'll just have to see how it goes.
And while that was all unfolding, we did have our race leader, Craig Edwards, JFF Racing, come into the pits, so it must be pit time, and he's come out in second place. And our leader at the moment, who's now in the pits, is ANZ Motorsports, so we can expect JFF, Adrian, to take the lead here.
Yeah, it's time for some of these guys. Obviously, through the safety cars, there's been a bit of shuffle around with pit strategy. So basically, it's going to come down to the end, isn't it? See how well the boys have got this and how the safety car has fallen here. So it's going to be definitely interesting in that last 20 minutes racing here.
Oh, it certainly is, and the TDR boys now are coming through. Currently sitting in second, as we see one of the All-Star Motorsports hit that wall, but we've seen that a few times in the pits. But yeah, Carnet TDR, Colin Schweck up into second now due to the other guys pitting, and he's right behind one of the Redback boys. So for God's sake, guys, don't come together.
Yeah, I can confirm that the 137 car's a little bit off strategy with the rest. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the last hour. So every car will still have one stop to do. And yeah, so I think what'll happen is you'll probably find the TDR car's going to be out there, like their last stint's going to be a really long stint, a full set of tyres, whereas the other teams will be able to sort of split that last stint in half.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see which strategy plays out the better one, because that pit lane here it's probably one of the longest pit lanes you ever go to, I'd say.
Yeah, with the endurance layout, it certainly is. You've got to go through one whole pit lane like a normal one at the 60 km/h speed limit, around a corner, then you've got the whole lot to do again. So, like I said, just driving through the pits takes you up to a minute, and that's without the time you stop. So, yeah, you've really got to manage your pit stops around here to make sure, like we didn't earlier, we've sort of gone out of strategy thinking we're doing the right thing, but we went a lap down because of it. So, it's something you really got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's like anything in racing, isn't it? You've got so many variables you've got to keep an eye on, and as this race unfolds, looking at the Synergy Sim Racing, it looks like they've fixed that front fender on that car, and they've come back out. Hasn't really affected them much. They're still third in class.
Yeah, I think them and ERA are pretty lucky with when they've had the incident there, Bernie. Like I said, every car's still got one more stop to do. So, as far as the incident goes, it hasn't hurt them greatly, as long as it wasn't too long of a hold for the repairs. So it's within their pit window, and they can still get home with one more stop.
And we're just getting some news, folks, from Race Control. We'll update you very shortly, but they are investigating that contact between the 228 and the 200, and it's being listed as the 228 taking unjustifiable risk. So they're investigating that. They're also investigating the 115 Nutters Motorsport Orange for coming together with the 368, which is the Blackadder Motorsport Mercedes. So we're not sure what that is, careless driving. So we'll let you know what those penalties are once Race Control decides on that.
Yeah, like I said, Bernie, unfortunately for ERA, they did move the car after they spun. So Michael sort of based the decision on which way he was going to go to avoid the car. Then ERA's moved the car, which has then taken that decision to be the wrong one. So it'll be touch and go, but I think ERA might be getting a penalty here shortly.
Yeah, I'd say you're right there. And Adrian, mate, should I step out of the comm box again and let you guys get to it, or are you going to bail on us again?
No, it's actually okay at the moment. It's working out all right, and I'm just sitting here listening away, so it's all good.
Yeah, no worries. Well, at the moment, Class C, I tell you what, over these races, Mad Cow always gets back up the front, don't they? And they are absolutely dominating the point score. If we look at it, they've got well over 300 points difference between them and Selby Racing. So it's 2010 points coming into this round, where Selby was on 1695. So no doubt if this keeps up, they're going to extend their lead again. Also, looking out of the 6 rounds we've run, they've got maximum points in 4 of those rounds.
Yeah, they're a quality outfit, Bernie. They're not in the series for no reason. They've got top class drivers, and everything they do, they sort of try and tee it up to perfection. And like I said earlier, with the rest of the boys in the class, I think we're all quite aware of just how strong of a team they are and how professional they are. And I think the rest of us are out there racing each other at the moment. The gap's there. It's up to us to try and rein that gap in, but geez, it's hard work.
Oh yeah, it certainly is, and we just had news on that Nutters Motorsport Orange, the 115. Ben Daly is driving that car, and they've been issued a drive-through for that contact with the 368. So looking in Class A, guys, we've only got 4 cars on the lead lap now, with the 118, that's Redback Racing. They've just gone down a lap. So, yeah, so we've got Craig Edwards, JFF Racing leading TDR with Colin Schweck. Then we've got Mitchell Sealak in the ANZ Motorsport, followed by TJ Brown, Nutters Motorsport Green. So, this car, Adrian, it's been going up and down through the field all day, hasn't it? Yeah,
it certainly has. It been quick and doing a fantastic job, but yeah, just been hard work for those guys. I mean, they've been lucky, but just still hard work for them, quite honestly.
Yeah, it certainly has, and just having a look at what the boys are saying over there in our forum, or our little commentate, whatever you call it. What are the common... Oh, I don't know, I'll shut up.
Yeah, sorry about that, boys. I was actually just working at the final fuel strategy for the car while I was sitting here, so...
You're trying to read their comments. Yeah, it's one of those things we keep an eye on it now and again, just to make sure everything's kosher back down there and see what's going on for sure.
Yeah, Hayden Burns says moo. So obviously he's happy about Frida.
Yes, he's always enjoying to see that Frida do well. We know he's a mad cow, so you know, pushing that along, which is really good for Hayden to be in a pro team like that. It's definitely going to improve his driving, and be good to see him back in the car soon.
Yeah, it definitely will be, and we've got a bit of news from the thread there about what's happened to the 100 Dayco entry, and it appears when they went to join the session they did select the HPD, but for whatever reason iRacing registered them in a BMW, and of course you can't race Class A in a BMW, so unfortunately they have not been able to make the grid.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame there with that, especially if you put all the hard work and the practice, which I know the Dayco boys do. So, yeah, absolute shame for them. But, you know, they'll come back bigger and stronger next round for sure.
Oh, definitely. You know, those guys, they always put on a show. They're strong, and they are the winners of last season. And, yeah, I've never heard of that. That's just plain bad luck, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've got the leaders for Class C in the pits now too, Bernie, doing their final pit stop.
So it'll be interesting to see if James Stevenson stays in this car or if he jumps out and one of the other drivers takes it home from here.
Yeah, the other interesting thing with Class C too is the car in third place has been a little bit earlier than the others, so it'll be interesting to see if they have to do any fuel saving to get that car home just on their strategy. So for Selby, maybe it hasn't worked out, maybe it has. We'll have to wait and see in the long run to make sure they get there.
Yeah, Alarm Racing's in now. They've also pitted, that's a 340 Tiger print, I guess you could say. So they're coming in. Then we've got the 332 Triards Racing still out. So we've got the top two in.
Oh no, top two TDR's still out.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that car there.
Oh, and he's just put it into the wall.
We don't want to see that, do we? He's got heavy damages, could bring out the safety car. Let's have a quick look at this replay and see what's happened there. He's disappeared off my radar here, Tim, so do you know if he's...
Yeah, he's parked up against the wall there near Pooon, I think the name of the corner is there. He's just having trouble getting it off the wall, so we may have to get a safety car. I'm just trying to get onto him now. I'll be with us in a sec.
Yeah, no worries, you deal with that. We're just having a look at the replay here, Adrian. He actually got it just off that ripple strip on the corner with no name, heavily into the wall there, and yeah, that car's got a lot of steering damage. If we go back to live pictures, I think he's got it pretty much up against the wall and could call the safety car here.
Yep.
So yeah, we're under yellow, folks. Due to that incident, Carnet TDRs had to be towed back to the pits, which is a big blow because they were the leader of Class C. And did you have a look at that replay, Adrian? What did you make of it?
I was actually trying to watch the car doing its thing to see if he could get it going. It was a tough ask to get it out of that position. Must have really damaged that steering because he just couldn't pull it off that wall, could he? So must have been massive damage, which I've just got that replay up now. And this is one of the corners that can bite you, and yeah, wow. Yeah, that was a solid hit. And you can see as he's tried to get going again, it must have damaged that right front there, and just powered into that Armco there, and yeah, that's a race gone for the boys tonight. So bit of hard luck there.
Yeah, and the thing is with those Mercedes, when they do go like that, they're really hard to grab or to catch, aren't they? They get this big pendulum motion going, and once they get around from that much anyway, you're pretty much a passenger.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that contributed to that too was his last lap before his pit stop. So he was trying to put in a nice solid lap there, and just the older tyres and light fuel load just a bit earlier on the throttle. And like I said, being new to the car too, so he's done an amazing job to that point. So just one of those things.
Oh, definitely, it's one of those things. And as you were saying, he just bought that car today, so he's been doing a fantastic job out there. And you know, these things happen, I guess. But this is going to help Eric Thorpe in the 363. These guys were a lap down, and everyone was pitting, and I think I'm just trying to work it out here, if they're actually leading that class now or if they've got that lap back.
Well, they're actually leading, so they've gone around the leader, which was TD Racing, and everyone else is pitted, so they're actually on the lead lap at the moment. So a little bit of bonus there for those boys.
Yeah, so
because they stayed out, they're actually back on the lead lap, so they've done really well. But I do notice here he's going very slow here on this lap, so I'm not sure if he's letting traffic through or low on fuel. He might have got caught out trying to do it.
Yeah, I guess they're under yellow, so he wouldn't be letting traffic through. He might have got caught out and he's going to have to pit, but I guess he got that lap back when he passed TD Racing, as Adrian said, and then all the other guys are sitting in the pits, so then all of a sudden he passes all them and takes the lead.
You know, great strategy call by the team. You know, they were hoping and praying for something, and yeah, we'll see how they go with it.
Yeah, definitely. And this is another car that's been going up and down a fair bit today. And it's funny how you see these different momentums, you know, how these cars sort of do that. I don't know why. You get some cars that just go and they lead all race, and others that are just struggling and going like a roller coaster from the front back to the back again and back to the front.
It's sort of a case of if you get in trouble early, you've got to try and come up with a different way or a different strategy or something to try and get yourself back up there. And you know, like if everything's going well in an endurance race like this, it's pretty much follow the leader. Whatever the leader in class does is pretty much what you have to do, especially with such a long pit entry here, to try and stay on that lead lap. And if you can do that, that puts you in a position to race in the last hour. So sometimes some people tend to forget that too. So especially with the safety cars, it's all about trying to put yourself in that position for the last hour to have a race. So, you know, we'd managed to do it today. Unfortunately, it's come unstuck now, but for guys like Swift Racing, they've had to readjust their strategy all day to try and get back up to where they are, and they've done a brilliant job in managing that.
Yeah, and they've got 51 minutes to go of this race, so it's definitely the right time to be doing it. Having a look at that incident I was telling you about earlier, Nutters Motorsport Orange, a 115 contact on the 368. They have been issued a drive-through penalty for that, and it was for careless driving. And as I said, also the 228, they got a drive-through. That's been changed to careless driving as well. Okay, so while we're under safety car, we know we're going to be under safety car for at least 4 laps here. They do, I think, Adrian, it's 3 laps under the safety car before the pit lane opens, if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, you're correct there, Bernie. That's three laps is to get the field sorted and to clear that black flag glitch that we get in road racing. So it's all about making sure that there's no unfair advantage, and race control has to sit there and try and clear 10,000 black flags.
Yeah, so we're probably, folks, we're probably looking at about at least 10 more minutes under the safety car. So while we're doing that, let's take you through the top 5 of each class, so you can get a bit of a picture of what's happening. So at the moment in Class A, JFF Racing, GT Amiga is leading that class, and second is Carnet TDR. Colin Schweck is driving that car. Third, we have ANZ Motorsport HPD, which will Cialak is driving that car. Then we have in fourth the 116, and they're right behind ANZ, so we'll keep an eye on that on the restart. And TJ Brown is currently in that car. And then fifth is the 118 Redback Racing HPD, and they are one lap down at the moment, but in fifth position. Looking at Class B, Evolution Racing Australia, the 226 is leading that class with Tom Jones driving, and then we have their sister car, the 228 Evolution Racing Australia, with Simon Feigl behind the wheel of that car, as we can now see the field starting to cleanse. Third is the 200, Michael Schreier. Michael did a double stint earlier today. He's back in that car. We expect he'll probably bring it home from here, and yeah, strong all day, that car. Fourth, the 230 Synergy Sim Racing, another strong contender, been up in the top four all day, and Wayne Burke is back in that car. And then 217, that's All Star Motorsports, Scott Kozlowski driving that car, and it's good to see this team having a top five. Looking down at Class C, well, Swift Racing, they're back up the top at the moment, and got that lead back. And this car's been interesting. They went, I think they said earlier, 2 laps down. They got that back. They've gone 1 lap down again, and now they've got that back and leading the class. So we'll see how they shape up. Then the 332's right behind them. That's Tryouts Racing, and Eric Kaluga is in that car at the moment, followed by Frida, Mad Cow Racing. And I wouldn't discount these boys. I reckon they're going to be right up the front there pretty shortly. And fourth is Justin Alderton for Arm Racing. These guys have had another good race today, and they've been in the top 5 just about all day. And then we've got Selby Racing Team with Jason Scully rounds out your top 5 in Class C.
The other thing to watch out here for, boys, is when pit lane opens, I can guarantee you just about 90% of the field's going to be coming in, especially HPD and the Corvettes. By the time they get this cleansing done and the safety car done, when pit lane opens, it'll all be within their final pit window for a lot of these teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if pit lane's about to get very hectic.
Yeah, I reckon we should have sent Adrian down into the middle of pit lane there to call all the action.
Yeah, we don't want to let Adrian back down there. He's already raided the fridge enough out of the TD truck, so we'll just leave him up here, I think.
So he's gone to the TD truck as well. It's the RRTV truck, huh? Yeah, that'd be right.
It's all right, Bernie. I'll put a padlock on it before the next round, so you'll have him up here a bit more often.
No worries. And we've got Hayden Burns down there for Mad Cow Racing, so we might bring him up, and you boys can have a bit of a chat with him.
Yeah, we'll throw Tim in the deep end. He can do the interview.
G'day, Hayden. Welcome to the RRTV commentary box. How's the race going out there for the boys today for you?
Hey boys, so I wasn't sure if my button was working then. Yeah, Frida's going okay today.
Yeah, based on the strategies, it looks like you guys should be right to push on here. I think a lot of the cars that are in front of you haven't pitted, so you should be right to be leader in class before we go green again.
Yeah, we've lucked out on a few safety car calls today and whatnot. Some of them have been down to, just having multiple sets of eyes always scouting around the track and stuff, but some have just been down to a bit of luck and time to perfection first. We've come out of the pits or been in the pits as safety cars called, so so far, it's still 45 minutes to go of a 6-hour race. You can't really say anything, but so far it looks okay.
I haven't had a chance to speak to you since you've actually joined Mad Cow, and congratulations on that, by the way. And just from a driver's point of view, how much of a help have they been for you towards moving further with your sim sport?
Well, thanks for that, Tim. It means a lot, actually. They've been fantastic. I don't want to talk about myself too much. It's about the boys. They've been fantastic with me. I've learnt so much. I've was never really a big Z4 driver before I joined Mad Cow, and now I love the car. The car's fantastic, but the way the guys have just stuck by me, and you know, we work and work and work and work and work. It's not just like cutting maps and doing setups and whatever. It's like we're analysing, okay, you know, how I'm driving the car and whatnot. It's been really good to move forward both, well, not only in lap time, that's obviously been great, but just other elements of my driving. Consistency in lap time was a big one as well, so it's been fantastic.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been one of the lucky ones along with Bernie and Adrian. We sort of saw your progression when you first come from the C-Spec into GT3 and in the SEK series, and I think a lot of us saw the talent that you had there, and it wasn't long before that talent started to show off. And you know, I know you don't like talking about yourself, mate, but you put in the effort to get where you are, and you should be proud of what you've achieved so far.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a long road. I hate not being good, I guess. So that's why I put so much time and effort into it. I think, Ryder Cup last night lasted all about 10 seconds in the official 24-hour race, which was a shame, but you know, we did heaps of laps, and I actually run this little app that tracks how many laps and sessions and whatnot you do, and I'm sure like most of the cows did the same amount of laps as me. We all did heaps and laps of practice, and for the Pro Series event a couple of weeks ago and whatever, but I did 285 laps of practice or something for the around here and learning and whatever, so it's been really good. It does, honestly, it does take a lot of hours. I know like the aliens in iRacing, they sort of just show up and then they're like quick, and it's like amazing how they can do that, how guys can do that and like jump between cars and do that is amazing, but I don't think I was one of them. It definitely took a lot of learning, and I'm still learning. Like, I'm still not happy with where I am, but a lot of practice and a lot of time and effort from the boys as well, so yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. None of us like being slow, but unfortunately there's people like me with their talent that don't have a choice. So. But yeah, a lot of hard work. And so the race last night didn't pan out for you, but the boys must be feeling a bit better now that looks like they're going to get this one in the bag today.
Oh, don't jinx us. But yeah, last night didn't quite go to plan. We didn't have great quality pace, unfortunately. It sort of hurt us in the Pro Series a bit as well, but like quality wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like a doomsday thing, but it, like, compared to our race pace in terms of like where we stack up in the field of top split and stuff, they're different. So yeah, we started I think about 37th out of 57 cars or something, and just got caught up into mayhem at turn 1 and bent the steering, and day done within about 10 seconds, so that was interesting. But no, we, you know, show up to AEC, and yeah, it's been a good ride so far, but don't jinx us.
Oh, I won't. And just with TTL joining the series, coming on board for this race, hopefully they're going to hang around for the last few rounds as well. It must be good now for the boys to turn up knowing there is some serious competition in this GT3 class. A lot of teams like ours, you know, we'd love to be up there with a team like Mad Cow, but at the moment we're still working out, it's just beyond us. So to have a team, another pro team turn up to give you a really good shake in one of these races must be good as well for the growth of the team and the practice side of things for the Pro Series.
Yeah, it was good when you saw TTL sign up. I mean, to be fair, like, all the teams in the GT3 class and stuff, and like all the classes have great competition levels already, and just because of the nature of endurance racing and stuff, you can't sit there and say, oh, the fastest car's going to win, because it's simply not. Like, that's not how endurance racing works. So but to have another strong car enter the class with TTL, that was really good. The duel between Frida and Dylan Sharman and Richard Hampstead earlier was good. I'm not quite sure what happened to them exactly, because I was out having dinner, but yeah, it's a shame that their first race in the class didn't go to plan, but I think all the classes have good competition levels, you know, like already, just because endurance racing, you don't be successful off lap time alone.
Oh no, you've got to make the right decision, especially in traffic, and that's probably the hardest thing with the AEC and having the 3 different classes is, you know, you could be 20 seconds from the car in front or the car behind, but the whole 6 hours of the race, both drivers have got to be making the right calls every corner, basically, because you're just constantly in traffic.
Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, you can be the fastest car or, you know, start on pole position or, you know, wherever, but you have to be smart, and, like, especially in AEC with the safety cars and stuff. I know, like, some of it's luck, but safety cars can definitely be used to your advantage if, like, you understand the system and know how it all works and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, mate, and like I said, well done on everything that, like, you've accomplished, and also, I haven't had a chance to also personally thank the team either, Ed, as a whole, for getting the 2 cars in the Pro Series from the Australian side of things. It's an amazing effort for that team. And is there any sponsor or anything you want to give a shout out to before we let you go, mate?
Oh, well, thanks, but I think, like, all the Aussie teams that are in there, TTL, or TTLR, sorry, and ERA, and the 2, and DCM, and yeah, Butters and SC are in there. Like, yeah, just to get in there was an achievement, and all the Aussie teams are holding their own. You know, we're not cruising around, you know, waiting for people to crash. Like, all the Aussie teams are genuinely competitive each round, and are genuinely fighting for top 20 spots, sometimes even higher than that as well. So, you know, all the Aussie teams have done really well so far, and yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any sponsors yet. We are looking, and it would be great to have someone jump on board at this crazy adventure with us. So if there are any potential sponsors out there, feel free to hit us up on our Mad Cow Racing Facebook page, where you can keep up to date with all the Mad Cow action, and and our Twitter as well, which is just Mad Cow Racing as well. But you know, we are searching for a sponsor. I would love to get one on board as well. So there you go.
No worries, mate. Well, congratulations on everything, and good luck for the rest of the 40 minutes we've got remaining.
Thanks, Tip. Thanks, Adrian and Bernie. I know you're probably listening, but thanks for the broadcast as well, guys. So.
No worries, Hayden. I was listening, and pit lane's open, folks, and look at the cars coming in.
You have to call me Nostradamus, be you, Bernie, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I've been calling you many names, but Nostradamus is probably a good one.
It was probably shorter than the other ones I got called too.
Yeah. But gee, I'll tell you what, you were called it right. Look at the cars all streaming in here at the moment to take their final service with 36 minutes to go.
Yeah, no, a lot of the teams, like I said, especially for the HPD and the Corvette boys, as we see one go banging the wall there as they come around the pin in pit lane, yeah, it fell perfectly within the window to get all these cars home. So every one of them will pit. The only GT3 cars that won't be pitting are the ones that have already done it. I think most of them, because you can get an hour on a tank of them, the HPDs and the Corvettes are about 45 minutes. So a lot of the GT3 field would have already pitted. So what this is going to mean, though, is at the restart, you're going to have, it's a bit like a reverse grid. All the slow boys at the front and all the quicker classes at the back. So, yeah, she's going to be fireworks for the next 10 minutes, I dare say, once the green flag goes.
Yeah, it's definitely busy down there in pit lane. Look at all the HPDs just going in to get their service, and Evolution Racing Australia's coming out. Be interesting to see, well, you pretty much said all the GT, well, there's all the GT3 cars.
Yeah, like I said, having that extra thing on the window there, a lot of them would have pitted with about an hour to go. So doing that means if there is any safety car or anything, you don't have to worry about any more pit stops. So for them, the right course to pit with an hour to go and stay out. For the other teams, like for our 137 team, it's probably the safety car's fallen right on their pit windows. So for them, an absolute lucky break. And of course, with the other teams, instead of having that situation where I thought we're going to have probably one of the cars on the lead lap on older tyres and two on newer, we're now going to have 4 cars on the lead lap, full of fuel, fresh tyres, and ready to duke it out towards the end. And it's just going to be who makes the right call on traffic for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? When you get these restarts, it's a big tightrope exercise, and it's probably the riskiest time of the race, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, and like I said, we've now got a situation where the GT3 cars have stayed on track. There's no more wave around, so slowest cars on the track are now all at the front of the queue. So for those boys there, I think we've got about 3 or 4 cars in the lead lap there. They're going to be wanting to race each other, and you've got all the other 2 classes coming through and quicker cars also trying to race each other. So it could be a case of who blinks first, and yeah, hopefully nothing major goes wrong.
Yeah, hopefully that's the famous words, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
certainly is, and
it certainly is.
we're going to have a few guys here. Like, it's definitely the boys at the back going to have fresh rubber, so they'll be wanting to beat down the doors here and make their way through. But the thing is, Synergy Sim Racing here didn't pit, so obviously they're comfortable. So they're on old tyres, and we've got Evolution Australia. They've jumped in the pits as per normal. I don't think every time that safety car comes out, they keep jumping in the pits, and something that we've alluded to in everything they've raced in lately, they've been in the pit lane. So just topping up a bit of fuel and throwing some fresh rubber, and it's more about the rubber with this temperature. The tyres should be going off fairly quickly out here today.
The other car that hasn't pitted as well is GT Amiga Racing, and so they're starting right behind the safety car at the moment, and no doubt looking at cleaning up. Looks like we'll bring Brant Tucker up shortly. He wants to let us know something about Class B, but let's get this race underway and into a bit of a rhythm, and then we'll bring him in. So safety car is in at the moment, and Craig Edwards will take this field back under green.
I reckon we're probably going to be 4 wide down Gimel Straight here. It's just because of the nature of the beast. It's going to be hold on to your hats and your bums, because it's going to get quite scary.
Oh, it certainly is. It won't be scary at the front of the field. It's going to be scary towards the back when these HBDs come up against these GT3s under green here at Spa. At 32 minutes ago, Craig Edwards gets a clean start. So does Michael Schreier and the other cars that did stay out. But let's jump back to see how the HPD boys handle the GT3s.
Two wide coming into Kimmel Straight, going to end up 3 wide. Yeah, 3 wide. Boys are fanning out. Watch this, getting into the end here. This is going to be nutso.
Certainly is. There's still 3 wide further back in the field here as these HPDs are trying to get through, and I tell you what, this is high risk stuff, isn't it?
Oh, Rogers around the outside. This is crazy stuff. The boys are, just trying to get through, aren't they? This is nutso. Oh, a car in the wall. It looks like the Pagny
300, yeah, the 300 BMW IRWF.
Yeah, that was a bit inevitable, wasn't it?
Oh, another Motorsport green off there after the pond.
So you can see the 188 still carving their way through. That car's 4 laps down, but they're not taking prisoners out there, and as they go 3 wide again. Oh my goodness, I just want to close my eyes, let you guys call this, because it's getting crazy.
I think the patience has been thrown out the window, and it's game on, because we've got less than 30 minutes to go to the end of the race, and everyone wants their track position. 3 wide going into the chicane. Now does that get pulled off there? And they're through. Oh no, there's contact. Geez, these boys are really on it. It's like we've opened up the gates and the blood's just dripping out.
Yeah, 3. So I was going to say 3 wide into La Source as well. I don't know how these guys are getting around here without running each other into a wall, but they're doing it.
And car 228's just been given a drive-through penalty as well for contact as well, Bernie.
No worries, thanks for that. So that's Simon Feigel's car, Evolution Racing Australia.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get to hear for what it was for, but I did hear he got a drive-through penalty. So I think Jake Blackhall's currently behind the wheel at the moment. No, you're right, Simon Feigel. Yeah, you were right.
And he's right behind the 333 at the moment. That's Scott Gray for free to hold it on. Oh my goodness. He's got the 118 in front of him. He's also got the 228 beside him. And now we've got another one. The 131's diving to the outside through a corner with no name. Tell you what, I would not want to be a GT3 driver in this.
Yeah, unfortunately, just for that last safety car, Bernie, this has turned into a 35-minute sprint race. So yeah, the boys are into it and they're keen to get a move on.
Yeah, you can see how that switch has just been thrown, can't you? Because it's a completely...
Oh, the 228 is around.
Go back to the replay there. I tell you what, he nearly cleaned up that Tiger Arm racing car as well.
He was very lucky, nearly cleaned up about 10 cars, unfortunately. They all had to scatter, but yeah, just one of those things, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was taking his line there, and the 131 was on the inside, and he just saw him at the last moment. I think he balked a little bit. So yeah, just...
And we've got
another
a car around the bus stop.
Do we know which car that was?
It was the Tryhards Racing 131, Bernie, went around to the bus stop.
So bring that up and have a quick look.
I think race control's a bit busy now, boys.
Yeah, there's been 3 black flags issued in the last lap.
Just having a quick look at this replay of the 131 and see what happened here. Yeah, he's just hit the ripple strip coming in to the chicane there. He almost beached it, but he got it going again. Meanwhile, out front, guys, Craig Edwards, who did not stop, he's already pulled out a 16-second lead over the ANZ Mitchell Sealack. And then we've got your boys, Carnet TDR, Colin Schweck driving that in third, followed by Justin Strickland in fourth, and then we've got the Redback Racing 118, one lap down in fifth position, and he's just coming past the 200 now.
I'm just looking at the times. I think Craig Edwards pitted back on lap 116, so I know he's in the pits now, so... Oh no, he's not, sorry, yeah, he pitted on lap 116, just double checking that, so they probably feel confident they had enough fuel on tyres underneath them to get home from where they were, so it'll be interesting to see if the other two teams can chase them down on fresh rubber.
Yeah, and Josh Rogers has just set another fastest time, 2:03.217.
Oh, because JRT was so... Oh.
Sorry, Brent.
Sorry, boys.
Sorry, mate.
So, yeah, that's been an interesting restart, that's for sure. In the All-Star Motorsports Garage, we were doing calculations like absolutely nothing. We made a last-minute decision to come into pit and follow the ERA cars, while the other two Synergy cars stayed out, so... It's going to be a absolute all-out brawl on our hands at the moment, and Scott's just a down ass up and just going for gold at the moment in 217. It's insane to think after nearly 6 hours this is how close and how intense Class B battle is at the moment.
Yeah, so we're looking at you guys are in fourth, and you have pitted But are you saying the other 3 ahead of you have not pitted?
The RA cars have pit, and 228 had a penalty, so that moved us up from 5th to 4th, which is astounding. And then, so the ERA cars pit, and then the 2 Synergy cars have not pit. I'm not sure whether ERA took tyres, and I'm not willing to divulge whether or not 217 took tyres. Cards being held very close to the hands at the moment, but needless to say, if the 2 Synergy cars run out of fuel, we're looking good for a potential podium here, boys.
Fantastic. We're going to definitely keep an eye on that. And at the moment, we're Michael Schreier in the 200 out front. Then we've got the Wayne Burke entry, Synergy Sim. I'll tell you what, these Synergy boys, they've been strong all day, haven't they? They've been in the top 4 just about for this whole race.
The Synergy boys, you got to hand it to them. They're a class act in the C7. They're an absolutely astounding outfit in the C7. They're the guys, you know, we always strive to try and catch up to or try and race. Scott gets very furious whenever Michael manages to beat him in a practice session, so that just goes to show how much, you know, how much and how passionate we are at All Star about this championship. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, because we had one fella watching 226 and then I was watching 200, and they both split, and we made a hair's width decision to come into the pit lane. It was such a finite amount of time to come into pit lane, but yeah, it's going to be incredibly intense. With 228 behind us, we've got a real battle on our hands now.
Yeah, you certainly have, but it's great to see All Star Motorsports up there in 4th and having a real crack at this, which is fantastic to see, because I know last time we spoke to you, you're a bit down, weren't you?
Yeah, after Watkins, you know, having the pace to potentially win that weekend, or potentially get another podium would have been phenomenal. But to have what happened, yeah, it was a bit heartbreaking. So to have a car back up in the top 5, yeah, it's a good way to bounce back, and no better way to potentially get another podium by rolling the dice and, you know, seeing what's happened. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on Class B, because it's, yeah, like I said, an all-out war at the moment. Top 5 cars for this class are all on the same lap, so that's a pretty good testament after nearly 6 hours of racing to have 5 cars on the same lap, all viable for a race win with the way the safety cars played out.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the place to be at the moment. And anyway, Brent, thanks for popping up and letting us know about this, and we'll keep a close eye on it. But of course, before we let you go, do you want to give a shout out to all your sponsors?
Yeah, I'll give all the boys from ASM another shout out, especially to Scott at the moment, head down, butt up, like I said, doing a phenomenal effort. And to all our sponsors, Edit Servers, RapCorp, K-Centric, and Extreme Racing. Yeah, thanks for their support. Hopefully we can do them proud with the top 5 or even better a podium at the end of the race.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, best of luck, mate, and looks like we've got a few guys in the green room. We'll start bringing them up and have a chat, so get back there, work out your slide rule, and take it to them.
Yeah, well, interesting, 226 is actually already catching one of the Synergy cars, so it's, yeah, going to get very intense very quickly, I think. So I'm going to head back to the garage, boys. Well done on the broadcast.
No worries, see you, mate. Yeah, and Synergy Sim Racing, ERA, they're battling it out here at the moment, just coming through Lacoombs, and that's going to help, of course, Scott Kozlowski to start catching these boys.
Yeah, well, I think when you look at the class there, I think also too that Synergy Sim Racing, having those cars currently sitting 1, 2 is going to be beneficial for them. They can run one as a blocker if they need to. So, I know Evolution's got around already. So yeah, well, hopefully you can hassle him and hold him up a bit for the other boys.
Yeah, no, ERA's right behind the 230, which, as you said, can run as a blocker and try to hold these boys up to let the 200 out, especially if they've got a pit. They're probably going to want to maximise this gap for the 200 so that at least one of them gets on this podium.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, But Synergy would definitely love to get that top spot, and if they can get their other car onto the third step of the podium there with ERA, they'd be absolutely ecstatic.
And ERA's on the outside.
Side by side.
And
Oh, contact.
yeah, that was bound to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the car on the outside there, the Synergy Sim Racing thought it was clear, but 2.6 still had their nose in there, so he's sort of come down him a bit there, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, yeah, that's really helped out the 200 car now.
Yeah, we're just having a look at the super slow-mo. It was coming across, and the 226 just caught the back end of him, and yeah, that's a hard one to call, I think.
Yeah, like I said, to me, just looking quickly at the replay, it's like the 230 car thought they were clear, but unfortunately they weren't. The 226 was still in there, so probably more a racing incident that one, but we'll leave that up to race control to decide.
Yeah, that's right, and that's going to, of course, play into the hands of the 217, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's going to give them a hope, because these two, and you just got to hope they didn't get enough damage to get a meatball on the cars too, because I'm just looking here at the 230 car is got a fair bit of damage on the front of it now, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes from here.
Oh, definitely, and while we keep an eye on this, folks, we've got a few other guys down there for interviews that have been waiting for quite a time, so we should bring them up, but at the moment, ERA and Synergy Sim Racing, they're going at it, and this is allowing All Stars Motorsports to start pulling them back in. Hi Gary, welcome to RRTV Combox. Thanks for waiting, mate. And oh, there's almost contact again. How's the 119 going today?
Hi Bernie, hi the rest of the commentary team. The 119's been going pretty well considering our really rubbish start. Unfortunately we had a small issue where we gridded and forgot to change to the race setup, and we had to basically tow from the grid spots. That put us a lap down straight away. When the pit lane cars were allowed to release, we still had to wait another 45 seconds, so that pretty much put us 2 laps down from the beginning, and that's where we've stayed. Unfortunately, because with our pace today, we probably would have been running at the pointy end.
Yeah,
but we've had a very clean race.
Yeah, I thought you must have started from the pits because you were way back there at the start, but it's been a good race there for Redback. You guys are in 9th at the moment, and the 118 with Warren driving, he's up to 5th at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. They were running in 2nd for a little while there, and you know, I believe we had the pace on the 118 today, so we would have been ahead of them, quite possibly. Above and beyond that, you know, we're possibly pushing now for E8 as well. We're only about 0.7 seconds behind. Yeah, the race has been quite clean. Sorry, go on, Bernie.
No, that's alright.
Yeah, our race has been quite clean. We've had pace all day. Other than that sort of one kerfuffle at the beginning, it sort of put us back a bit. Just in that just before that last safety car, we did get a end of line penalty from iRacing, I think it was, because we were already on pit road when the yellow flag was called, so unfortunately we couldn't pull out of that. That sort of put us back a little bit more, but I think it's been quite good so far for Redback all round.
Oh, it's been really good for Redback all round, and you can see here Dean Briffer starting to put the blowtorch on. He's having a look on the inside, and gutsy move there. He makes it stick, and oh, hold on to it. He's moving himself up into 8th position.
Yeah, Dean's really coming into his own. He joined us during the Bathurst round, and he was still quite green to any endurance racing and racing in general. Done a fair bit of practice, but not much race experience. He's come a long way since his first race, and he's really coming into his own, and he's got some pace. You know, he's very competitive, and like as a person in general, and he wants to catch up to our Aaron Lee at some point. Yeah, with his determination, I can see that possibly happening at one point or another.
Oh yeah, definitely, and he's having this really good battle here with tryhards. He took that position in the chicane. Tryhards came back and took it back at Lacooms. Now he's gone around the outside, coming off Camel Straight, and took the lead back, or not the lead, but 8th position back. So he's definitely having a good, strong fight here.
Yeah, definitely. He's been doing really well, and to be honest, I think that's probably the best we can hope for today in P8. Just unfortunately with some of the circumstances around our race, but you know, it's been a good race all around. We're pretty happy with our results so far. We would have liked to have been at the much pointier end and possibly be battling for a podium, because we think we could have done it with today's pace. But you know, such is racing. You know, there's always going to be some sort of an incident somewhere along the way.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you get the 2 redback cars home in the top 10, that's a big achievement for a 6-hour race, that's for sure. So anyway, Gary, before we let you go, do you want to give a shout out to all your sponsors?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, big thank you to RRTV being one of our major sponsors, as well as Secure Safe Storage. You know, they do a lot to sort of help us out where they can, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, and Secure Safe Storage, from what I understand, you might be able to tell me more about it, but basically they're into safely storing people's guns, and do they store the ammunition as well?
They can do. It's predominantly the firearms themselves, and you know, the whole thing is preaching around safety, getting guns out of homes, away from kids or possible accidents or anything else like that. We work very closely with the police. As I found out last week, we actually just recently went through an audit. So having a bunch of constables or senior sergeants even, breathing down your neck while everything's getting checked off, can be quite stressful, I would say. But we went through that with flying colours. One minor discrepancy with one character being off on one serial number, which is just a paperwork glitch. But other than that, everything was quite good. But yeah, our main focus is gun safety. We want to get guns out of homes and all that sort of thing. And if they're stored away from, I suppose, your family members, your kids, whatever the case might be, it's just a safer environment for everyone, really.
Oh, exactly, and it'd be a great boon for gun club members as well to have their guns safely stored and looked after as well.
Yeah, and that is a big core of our business. We run a fairly high-tech facility. Our vaults are climate controlled and all that sort of thing. There's zero humidity, so they never have to worry about rust or anything like that. And as good as their guns come into us is just as good as how they come back out. And obviously we offer other services to them as well, with maintenance and all that sort of stuff, if that's what people choose.
Fantastic. Well, anyway, Gary, it's heating up out here, and we better let you go so we can get to the last 11 minutes of this race.
No worries. Thank you for having us, Bernie, and good luck with the rest of the broadcast. You guys are doing an awesome job as usual.
Yeah, thanks, mate. That was Gary Giorgio from Redback Racing, but guys, Class B at the moment. Wayne Burke has brought that car in, that Synergy Sim Racing, so they have pitted, and that's released the 226 to try to pull in Michael Schreier in the 200. I'm just trying to get a gap. 18 seconds back to ERA. So if this car has to pit, they're going to drop a fair ways back. And then the 217 now is moved up to third, and they're 9 seconds ahead of Wayne Burke at this stage.
Yeah, quick update there, Benny. Just had, almost just had car number 115 and I think it was 351 have a little coming together at the bus stop there, so a couple of cars turned around.
Yeah, thanks for that, Adrian. It looks like the 115's continuing on. It doesn't have a lot of damage by the looks of it.
No, a little bit of front damage there, and geez, that 351 nearly collected another HVD, but Yeah, we better get Scott up here quickly because we don't have much time left, Bernie.
No, 10 minutes to go, and we'll bring Scott up. You can have a chat with him. I'll put you under the pump now, Adrian, since you drank all our champagne.
Yeah, no dramas, mate. Bring him up and I'll have a quick chat. Hey Scott, welcome to the RTV comms box. Hard night for you guys tonight.
Yeah, Adrian, thanks for having me up here, guys. Yeah, a bit of a tough night. A shame to end with 30 minutes to go. Yeah, we just got caught on that restart. 3 or 4 wide there up towards Longmont, and unfortunately into the wall, and that's the end of our night.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. It was hectic there on the restart of that after that safety car, but that's just due to the fact that we've had all the fast guys pit there, and a lot of you guys were out there in front of them, which is just part of the safety car, isn't it? Which is unfortunate, but yeah, it just got really easy there at the restart.
Yeah, that's it. I think a lot of us pitted just on that hour to go. When we pitted, I seen a lot of the other GT3 teams in, and then about 2 laps later, the safety car came out. So we were aware we were going to have most of the fast cars behind us, but it's half an hour to go, and it was up for sheep station. So a lot of those guys were trying to make passes while they could, and unfortunately, we were the unlucky ones.
Yeah, it's not good to hear, mate. Well, I'm not gonna keep the interview going because we do only have 5 minutes to go. So unfortunately, you're out of the race. But you want to put a shout out there to everyone that's helped you out tonight, and hopefully we'll see you back in the next round.
Yeah, the tryhards team. We're on the up and up, and we're doing some good things within our group. We've got great lights, lighting, Motorlux Motorsport, Lone Wolf Motorsport, and build partners as well as Top Line Paint. So the boys there are doing a really good job, and we've got a couple of guys there in the top 5, so hopefully they can bring it home for us.
Yeah, no problems, mate. Well, thanks for coming up here, having a quick chat. I know it's only quick. We do appreciate you coming up here, and hopefully all the best for next round.
Thanks, guys. See you then.
Yeah, and while that interview was going on, we did see that replay of what happened there too, Rick, and quite a big incident there.
Yeah, it certainly got crazy at the restart there, Bernie. I've just been through all the top 3 in each position, and probably the only battle we're going to have left now is the Carnet 137 and Nutters Motorsport. There's about 2 seconds between them and probably about 4 laps to go, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out with traffic.
Oh, it definitely will be. So your top 3 of each class, folks. We have Craig Edwards for JFF Racing leading that class, followed by Mitchell Sealak, a long way down, 23 seconds. Colin Schweck for TD Racing in the 137 is currently sitting in 3rd, and they're 32 seconds. But as Tim just said, keep an eye on Nutters Motorsport Green, because they are coming, and they've taken 0.3 of a second out of TD Racing that time by, with 6 minutes to go. Looking at Class B, well, Synergy Sim Racing, Michael Schreier in the 200s leading that. There's a question mark though over fuel and whether he can make the distance, so we'll keep an eye on that, see how that unfolds. Second is the 226 Evolution Racing Australia car, and then we've got the 217 Scott Kozlowski driving in there, and looking strong for a podium for All Star Motorsport. Down quickly to Class C, Mad Cow Racing Frida is back in front again, and where it has been most of the afternoon, so they're leading in second. Arm Racing, the 340. This car's had a really good run today, and looks like they may end up on the podium. And then behind them,
Car on the wall, Bernie.
Okay, sorry. 360.
Oh, they've just got it moving. It's the 132 tryhards.
Okay, I'll have a look in that sec. 363 Swift Racing rounds out your 3 in Class C. So that was Wayne Jaffa that came to the ball, was it?
That's correct, yeah, the 132 tryhards entry HPD.
Oh my goodness, he actually came unstuck there trying to get past one of his sister cars, the tryhards Mercedes, and he lost it on the outside there.
Yeah, he's actually he was on the outside, he's tried to do the switch back to the inside and probably just turned the car just a little bit too sharply and it sort of lost the rear end on him, so just unfortunate there.
Yes, definitely. I was just reading a few messages there. Okay, 4 minutes to go, guys.
Yeah, just on the last
about
lap too, the Nutters Motorsport got caught out badly in traffic on a DP, which has sort of opened the gap back up to the 137 by a couple of seconds.
Yeah, so we got about laps to go at the moment, so winding down. It's been a long day. The boys have done an exceptional job, even in the mayhem of the safety car. I think it was fairly clean most of the way. A lot of risque moves, but probably about the most action we had all night, which is I think on the whole, Bernie, I'm going to have to give them a little bit of a wrap here. I think they've done quite well this round and done a fantastic job, and it's been impressive to watch the racing, and this is something that we've been wanting to see for a number of months now.
Oh, it definitely is, and the boys have definitely stepped it up, and this is the sort of racing that we do expect to see in this sort of Premier Series.
Well, it is a Premier Series. I mean, just look at the talent out there, and I know Tim sort of underrates himself a lot these days, and he still always will. But look, to have a small team like that in here and doing a fantastic job in Class A and down in Class C, you know, always put an effort in, and with the drivers that are in that team, they do a fairly good job punching above their weight. So definitely not a bad team, and do really well. Same with Redback Racing team. They also have some hard luck this year, but and so have some of the others like Team 100, VPR. They're running around at the moment with no nose cone on, so they've had last minute issues. So the racing is there. The boys can do it with 1 lap to go. We should be getting the white flag soon. But you know, the boys can do it, and they've proven that they can race cleanly for 6 hours. So this is what we need to keep seeing.
Oh, definitely, and I tell you what, Tim, the Nutters Motorsport Green, they're coming on pretty strong here with probably about a lap, maybe 2 to go.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing hard. It's going to be, like I said, this is probably the battle that we're going to have to see towards the end. Most of the other classes now for the podiums have sorted themselves out. Frida's got a pretty good gap there in Class C, and second and third are pretty far apart as well. Class B sort of come apart with the contact with the 230 and the 226, so we just got to now make sure that the 200 car's got enough fuel to get home, and as I predicted earlier too, TTL has made up 2 laps. They were down 5, they're now only down 3, so they've come screaming back up the charts as well.
Yeah, never say never, as they'd say, but at the moment it's a race for third on the podium here in Class A, folks. TD Racing is trying to stay ahead of Nutters Motorsport Green, but of course it's one thing catching them, it's another thing passing them.
Yeah, we've got 1 lap to go. White flag's just come out, so this will be the lap. It comes down to that draft down camel. That's what it all comes down to around this track. The rest of the tracks, when you've got equally matched cars, it's a little bit hard to get around, but it's that draft down camel straight. If you can get that and close in, and then hold that till you get onto the back straight and use the draft again. So if they can get close enough, I'm predicting the bus stop will be where they try to make the move.
Yeah, so we're coming down here into Eau Rouge for probably the second last time tonight, and yeah, he's not pulling him in up Camel Straight here.
as we sort of get halfway along, that's when the speed difference kicks in. He'll probably make up 2 or 3 tenths here, but if Colin can have a good run through the middle section here, he should have enough to hold him off into the bus stop. That's about the only place he's going to get a chance to make a move, is getting a good run through this middle section and getting the draft down the back straight. But at this stage, Colin's still far enough away to sort of keep the position.
Yeah, and the white flag has just come out now, so we are on the last lap, and we'll follow. Oh, the Nutters is around.
He's gone. Tried too hard.
Yeah, so that's going to release TD Racing for that 3rd position, and he will be safe home in 4th, but you're right, he tried too hard, but it's all Fusion Sim Racing here. Craig Edwards coming around the chicane for the final time, and he's going to take out round 7 of the Australian Endurance Championship here at Spa, so well done to Fusion Sim Racing.
Aaron coming home second is Mitchell for ANZ Motorsports 103, so well done to those boys. They've been quick all night, haven't they? I thought they had a chance of winning here with Kane in the car, but just languished there. But to come home second is no mean feat.
And now we can see TD Racing, Colin Schweck behind the wheel, coming home 3rd for Class A. Well done to that team. Fantastic drive there, and that's your podium for Class A, folks. You can see the podium for Class B. It looks pretty good for Synergy Sim Racing here. Michael Schreier, and he will take the win here. Not sure if he's actually finished or not.
No, he actually hasn't finished yet. The leaders crossed the line between him and the car behind, so he'll actually finish a lap clear in class because of where the leader and the Class A finished. So the other boys have finished, and he's got to do another lap. So if he runs out of fuel now, it doesn't matter.
So your podium, folks, will be Synergy Sim Racing takes out Class B here at Spa, followed by Evolution Racing Australia with Tom Jones driving that car, then home in 3rd. Final step of the podium, All Stars Motorsports. Well done to this team. Fantastic result, and they come home 3rd in Class B. Looking at Class C, we have Frida home in 1st again. So that's 5 rounds out of 7, I think this car's won. And followed by Arm Racing. Fantastic drive by this team as well to come home in 2nd. And then the final step of the podium is Swift Racing, the 363. So great recovery drive by these guys.
Yeah, certainly is. You see those boys recover from their hard luck. You know, they were struggling all night, weren't they? But to bring it home in 3rd just goes to show persistence pays off, and just to keep it in there. I mean, you never know. As long as you don't do too much damage to the car, some of these penalties, you can keep working your way. And even Josh Rogers, what a drive for him to get those 2 laps back.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty amazing drive, that's for sure. So as always, this race has had a lot of drama. Not as much as we have had in the past, which is good, but most importantly, a lot of great racing.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Bernie. A marked improvement from all the teams. They've all taken the advice of race control, and everyone's put on board since the last round. They've all taken that on board, and definitely taken a massive step in the right direction as far as the racing, the quality of the racing, and probably more just thinking about what they're doing. You know, it's a 6-hour race. There's no point banging cars together on the first lap. And they've all had a good think about it, and they've all come back a lot stronger from it.
Yeah, for sure. As we can see, the winners of Class A and Class B getting some donuts done down there for the crowds. But we'll bring up DJ from Swift Racing to have a chat with him. He was the first one in the green room. So I'll bring him up, and who wants to do this interview? Rock, scissors, paper?
Yeah, I'll do it.
There's a big pause, wasn't there?
Hey DJ, welcome to the booth. We'll just bring up Eric. Eric's been brought up. Thank you, Bernie. Congratulations, boys. I mean, you've been down and out all through this race, been getting penalised, and for whatever reasons they were, you guys know. I'm not going to get into it too much, but to get home third, boys, you've got to be really chuffed about that.
Mate, it was pretty hectic. So, yeah, no, it was good. You know, pretty much straight out of the gate. You know, Eric had an absolute blinder today. You know, he was in the car for pretty much a good majority of the race. So, you know, he's the one that got us there in the end and got us across the line. But tell you what, it was a bloody emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. You know, with all those penalties, but to reiterate that, I mean, to just still push forward and make the effort to keep racing. I mean, you know, the luck can be there for you guys sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Like, we rolled the dice a couple of times and we got lucky. But, you know, it was pretty much a case of, we're here, we may as well push through. So we just did, you know. It was touch and go a couple of times, but in the end, we got another podium. We're always coming third, it seems.
Yeah, I'll look at oh yeah, geez, I'm tongue-tied for words tonight. I don't know what it is. Computer crashing, tongue-tied for words. But keep persisting with what you're doing, guys. And I'll tell you what, that third place will end up being a second or even a top of the step. So you know, just being persistent and keep working at it. You're doing a fantastic job. And I mean, if the guys out there were watching you from the first round to see where you are now, man, that's just great racing from you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey. You know, we've done pretty well. You know, Eric's been absolutely magical with the setups and dialing them in, and you know, having everyone there to just sort of support throughout the race as well really helps.
And Eric, take it you're in the car there at the end of that last safety car. How hectic was it for you just to be swamped by all the cars there at the last restart?
Wasn't too bad actually. Like the Class A and B cars were pretty respectful today actually. Didn't really any issues with them. You know, they did their thing, they got past, they made the moves clear what they were doing, and we just didn't have issues, so traffic wasn't really an issue today. Yeah, we got a good bit of racing in. Got 2 penalties, one was fair enough, the other one was big, and I don't quite understand it, but I'll talk to Scott. That decision, that in private. But yeah, we got lucky with a couple of safety cars basically, and put us back on the lead lap. We were 3 laps down at one point. Here we are.
Yeah, no, awesome job. Fantastic to see how well you went. If there's any sponsors out there, look at this team. Definitely up and coming. If you go back and check how they've progressed throughout this season, in less than 12 months, it's just phenomenal how quickly you guys have moved your way forward. So really impressed with your driving throughout the year, and keep moving forward. Just keep hitting those marks, trying to keep those incidents down, and you'll go a long way, and hitting this championship you'll end up doing quite well. So before we let you go, want to put a shout out there to everyone that's involved tonight.
Yeah, thanks for Josh has been pretty busy, so he's jumped in and done his fair share, so thanks to him. Bill's always around, he wasn't able to drive today. Okay, for he does. Whatever that is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to thank DJ for being the glue that holds the team together and coming on here and talking and spreading the word of Swift Racing.
We're just a group of mates.
But also a quick shout out has to go out to you guys into race control as well. You know, you guys and the guys in race control, I do not envy their job at all. Like, you guys put the hours in outside of, you know, everything else to run this and to run the stream for us. So, you know, without race control, without you guys, we wouldn't be here either. So, you know, big ups to you guys and thanks a lot.
I'll put a shout out to iRacing as well. The guys came second, kept it clean. Well deserved podium. Well done, guys.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming up, guys. I'm glad it turned out in the end for you, and congratulations on a podium.
Cheers, Bernie. Cheers, Adrian.
Thanks, guys.
So, Adrian, we're getting quite a queue down here, aren't we, with interviews? So I'm just trying to work out where we go from here. I guess we could have a word with Synergy Sim Racing. That's Michael Schreier in the 200. Then we can go to the 217, I think.
Yeah, or we could clean up the Class C cars here. We've got Hayden and James in here now, so the winners of Class C, we can tidy them up and we'll work our way up.
Sounds like a plan. I'm a little bit lost and overwhelmed at this point.
This is probably the most we've had to come up, so everyone must be happy tonight.
Yeah, I'd say so. But welcome to the Combox now. James Stevenson, Hayden Burns from Mad Cow Racing. Congratulations on another top step on the podium, and quite a dominating performance out there today, guys.
No, I wasn't that dominating early. PTL were definitely giving us a run for our money early on. It was quite unfortunate that they got caught up in somebody else's accident.
Yeah, but you guys were second most of that stint, though, from what I recall. I think you guys were pretty much in the top 5 all day, weren't you?
Yeah, we were there or thereabouts for most of the day, but I think if TTL hadn't had the troubles, we may not have had the pace for them at the end there.
Yeah, we didn't catch the accident with the 391, but we did see it in the pits, and it looked like whatever happened to that car, that was pretty much the end of its race.
They had an accident where I think a couple of DPs came together on a safety car restart, and they just got caught up in that, and then later on they actually ended up on their roof, so not a good day for them.
Yeah, definitely not. But turning our attention back to your team, did Mad Cow field any of the guys in the Spa 24 hour?
Well, we got to turn 1, but we hadn't actually got to the start line because you start after turn 1, and we got run into and it broke the suspension. So we got that far into the 24-hour race and it was over.
Geez, that's disappointing, but I guess this win today makes up for a little bit of that.
Yeah, definitely. And we sort of kind of glad that TTL dropped out because we had to do the whole race after they dropped out on 4 incidents to stay within the limit. So it was touch and go for pretty much the whole end of the race.
Wow, we didn't know it was that close, but before we let you go, guys, I'm going to hand you over to Tim Ballinger and see if he's got any more questions for you.
A great drive there, James, to get the little beamer up there. How did you find the pace, especially down the back straight there with TTL on the Merc?
It was kind of ridiculous. We'd run behind them in the draft and gain absolutely nothing, and for the few laps that we were ahead of them, they were gaining over half a second every time up that straight. So it was just try to hang on as best you could and then pull as much as you can through the corners.
Yeah, we sort of found that too with the Merc there. When you get in with a BMW, was you'd hang on to the end of Camel, you were able to hold them up through the infield, but they'd be riding you and then hit the straights, and if they pulled out of the draft, they just didn't have enough to actually go back past you.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the time you'll see the big dive bombs from the BMW, because that's their strength. A lot of people don't like it, but that's pretty much its only way to get overtaking moves done.
Yeah, I've driven the car enough to know, it's very hard to try and do an overtaking move with the Audi, the Merc and McLaren. You can do it all in a straight line. The BMW, you're sort of limited to corner entry really to try and get it past done.
Yeah, we were lucky today that we didn't really have to pass anybody on track, and we really lucked out there with the strategy. At the end there, we managed to pit right before both those last 2 safety cars were called.
Yeah, you sort of you look at the racing, especially in the GT3 class, and you sort of sometimes think, did I make the right call or not? I know we got caught out earlier on there with a when we didn't pit with the first safety car, and most of the other GT3 cars didn't. We were just pure luck we got our lap back. So it is very hard to try and manage when you're back there in GT3 land, trying to get your strategy right and keep out of trouble for 6 hours.
Yeah, especially if you're down sort of the back of the queue and you're on the verge of going a lap down anyway. When you pit, you're going to go a lap down, and you don't really want to take that risk.
Yeah, I guess with this track too, it really took a bit of managing too, simply because of the length of the pit stop. Like the GT3 sits there for about a minute and 10 seconds, full tank and tyres, and then you've got the minute to travel through pit lane. Every pit stop was a lap you lost.
Yeah, I think definitely the length of the pain to us was basically, if a safety car came out, we were coming in to do a pit stop, because it's just so much time saved over doing an undergreen flag.
Yeah, well, no, well done, mate. And good to see the team doing so well. And bad luck for yesterday, but hopefully today takes the edge off that. And anyone you want to thank, and good to see Hayden's on board with you there too.
Yeah, thank Hayden, and also thank Bino, who was sitting with us through the whole race. After our car was completely destroyed in the 24-hour race, he decided he needed some practice in the BMW, so he went and drove 8 hours straight in a broken car, just for fun.
I can think of better ways to have fun.
I also give a moo out to all of our fans out on Facebook and YouTube and wherever else they're hiding. Moo.
No, well done, mate, and best of luck with the last. I think you got 1 or 2 races left in the Pro Series. Best of luck for the team with that too, mate.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, there we go. That's the Moo Cowboys. And where should we go from here? Probably to Class B. And we'll start with our winners, which is Michael Schreier, Brenton Hobson, Synergy Sim Racing. Might let you start this interview, Adrian.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome to Double RTV Comms. Congratulations on your class win. You must be pretty chuffed with the racing today. You had to fight pretty hard all the way along, and there's nothing like getting a win where you had to fight tooth and nail to get to it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We had to fight till the very end in today's race to get to the victory lane. So it's very rewarding. You always like to get the win. So I think everyone in the team will agree that we felt like we earned it this week. And yeah, it was a ripper of a race for us.
Yeah, how was the racing all up though? I mean, I think everyone knows I'm being fairly critical in the last couple of months with the racing, but I see a vast improvement this round, that the driving was a lot better, and more often than not it was actually a netcode issue with a lot of the incidents that we saw tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty good racing all around tonight. We're just chuffed to get the win. Strategy was just perfect there at the end by not pitting. But yeah, the race was pretty clean on our end. Had a few little issues with the ERA cars, but we came out on top, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and how close was that call to not pit at the end there underneath that last safety car? I would assume that you finished your stop earlier and you had enough fuel. It was just obviously to see if the tyres would last out and see if you can hang off to the end.
Yeah, I was much at the last safety car there. I was pretty much holding the clutch in, the ignition off, pretty much that whole safety car period to try and gain as much fuel as just to give us some options. So basically, Brenton and Berkey in the background were saying to stay out. I was a bit hesitant, but they made the right call, and they said to watch the ERA car in front. If he pits, just stay out and see how we go. So we've done that, and we've come away with the win. So I've got to thank them, because they're the ones that made the call on that one.
Yeah, it's always these calls are last minute, and to make them, you either look like a hero or you look like a zero. So tonight it looks like it's worked out for you guys then.
Yeah, you're exactly right. There's a lot of discussion going on about whether or not we should come in or not, and in the end, we're like, well, we're going to try and win, and we'll die trying, and hope that we make it. And Michael did a great job in the last stint because we were very tight, and he had to do the job from his end in the driver's seat to make sure we got to the finish. And he nailed everything that he had to do. And you're right, when you make calls like that and they pay off, you you look like the hero, but it doesn't take much to get it wrong, and it's a different story altogether. But like Michael said, we took a punt, and it was the right call at the end of the day, so we're just wrapped to end up in victory lane.
Yeah, fantastic, boys. Well, look, keep going forward. You're doing a great job in the series, and that's why you got the big 200 on that car to show that you were the series champions first time round, and you're definitely wanting to keep that on there. But you got a bit of a battle to go. I think there's only a couple of rounds to go, and we've got I think it's Coda next championship round, so that's going to be a toughie. I think it's going to be on the likes of the previous 2 rounds with how tight it's going to be around there. But hopefully it'll be all cool for you guys, and we'll see how well you go. But I'll pass you over to Bernie. He might have a couple of questions for you, but once again, congratulations on your win.
Thanks,
man.
Adrian.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. Fantastic drive there, and yeah, well done on your win. I don't really have any other questions apart from give a shout out to all your sponsors.
Yeah, as always, a big thanks to Boost Juice for coming on board this year and backing us, and also to the Speedway Shop, which is what we had on our second C7 tonight. They managed to pick up a top 5 as well, which is a good result for the sponsors there too. So yeah, big shout out to those guys.
Fantastic. Well done once again, guys, and go and celebrate whichever way you do, and we look forward to seeing you in round 8.
Thanks, Bernie. The Jim Beam cam's already open.
Thanks very much, guys, and thanks for the broadcast as well. You guys doing a great job.
Yeah, so that was Synergy Sim Racing, the winners of Class B. Now we have All Star Motorsports, the 217. We'll bring them up and have a bit of a chat.
Catch ya.
Hi guys, welcome to RRTV, and firstly congratulations, 3rd on the podium, well done.
Yeah, thanks guys. We raced pretty hard today. B class I think was probably the most competitive it's been all year, and probably of any race. I think the top 5 or 6 guys were on the lead on the same lap for the whole 6 hours. So everyone there drove really, really well, and 217 got a really good result, which is a good change for the better.
Oh yeah, last time we spoke to you guys, last round, you're all pretty dejected about that round, but you've definitely bounced back, and to get on the podium, I reckon that must be a great feeling.
Yeah, we were pretty down and out after Watkins. It wasn't their best showing, and it probably wasn't the best showing for the series as a whole. But I think Spa really was a total 180 for the series and for our car in particular. We just drove our race, kept out of any trouble we saw up ahead, let people go that were in a hurry, and couple of well placed safety cars paid dividends in the end for us.
Yeah, it was an interesting race, I must say. Were you aware, though, about the contact with, I think it was a 230 and the 226 ahead of you? And what was your thoughts on that? How did it play out, as in, for you? Was it, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
I took the last stint. Cody drove an amazing middle stint there for a couple of hours. And the ERA guys and Synergy boys were just a cut above us. They were too quick for us today. So we were sort of just hoping to keep in the periphery there. And if any of them came together and fell over, we were there to pick up the cookies. And I heard on the team speak while I was driving there that they'd come together, and which was good news for us. Unfortunate for those guys, but it was good news for us, and found an extra gear in the old C7 and tried to catch up as best we could, and before I knew it, we went from 4th to 3rd, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it certainly is. I was keeping a close eye on the 230 behind you, thinking they may be able to pull you back in, but that wasn't the case. So fantastic effort there on your podium. It's well deserved, and I guess you guys are going to go off and celebrate the All-Star Motorsport way, whichever way that is.
Yeah, there'll be some burnouts there and some great banter, I think. I just want to give a shout out to Lucas, who he was driving in the 218 today. He's been our setup builder for the C7 for the last couple of rounds, and he built a blinder for us today. He's been having a couple of late nights, and even up to last night, me and him were still cutting laps early into the morning, and props to him. He did a really good job.
Yeah, fantastic. I think the 218 came home about 9th. Just having a look at, I think they came home 9th.
Yeah, somewhere back there. They've had some good results in the past. Monza comes to mind. I think they had a podium there, in fact, and it was time for the C7 of the 217 to have a crack up there too.
Yeah, I just had a look. The 218 came home in the 8th, so that's good. 2 cars in the top 10, that's fantastic. But before we let you go, guys, quick shout out to all your sponsors and the people that backed you.
Yeah, shout out to Rack Corp and K-Centric and all the boys that we race with, and especially Cody. He drove really well today in that middle stint. Kept out of trouble. Both tried to keep out of trouble, got no penalties, so all that kind of stuff pays dividends in the end. And thanks to you guys. You do a quality product on YouTube there, great broadcast, and hopefully it continues.
No worries. Well, thanks, guys, and go off and celebrate, and we'll see you at round 8 for the Australian Endurance Championship in, I don't know how many weeks it is, probably about 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, somewhere like that. We'll be there. We'll be there. Looking forward to it.
Okay, well, we have our Class A winners down there, the Fusion Sim Racing team, so I'm going to bring them up, and I might let you have a crack at this. Tim or Adrian, I don't care who, one of yous.
She's right, I can do it. Oh, hi, Craig and Josh. Welcome to the RRTV commentary box. Great win out there today for the team.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, it was really enjoyable to get that victory. A bit of a monkey off the back for us.
You sort of struggled a bit this season, so get that result today, and to get out the front there and actually hold that lead like you did in the last after the last safety car must have been very rewarding for you.
Yeah, I think we haven't had bad outright pace, but just lacked consistency and kind of getting caught up in other incidents that maybe either could have been avoided by us or avoided by other people. So to actually have a clean race is fantastic, and we were pretty close there at the end with fuel, like most people were by the sounds of it. So yeah, there was a bit of hoping we could make it there at the end, but we ended up making it easy. So yeah.
Yeah, I did mention on the commentary there, at that last safety car, you were probably the only ones who didn't pit, but you hadn't pitted, I think it was about 2 or 3 laps before that, so you're probably out there on the older set of tyres and just hoping the fuel would make it, and you did I was watching the lap times there in the last 20 minutes, and I think you, Colin, and ANZ were all, depending on whether you got stuck in traffic or not, were all pretty much cutting the same lap times around that 2:04 mark, so it must have felt really good to be able to get out the front and hang on.
Yeah, definitely. I think, because we pitted not too far before the safety car actually came out, we added an extra couple of laps up our sleeve on the ANZ guys in terms of fuel. So it was we were doing like I said, a bit of head scratching, talking for about 5 minutes under the caution whether we could make it or not, and I think at the start of the stint, the ANZ car had very good pace, but I'm not sure if they got a little tap or something, but their car seemed to go off towards the end of
towards the end of the race a little bit, so we kind of held that 20 odd second margin, and yeah, it was quite good to actually have the outright pace to win it.
Well, I think that probably from a strategy point of view probably was the right call. At that last restart, you guys were up near the head of the queue and could get straight into doing some solid laps, and one behind you had pitted, so they sort of had to fight their way through traffic before they could set about chasing after you, and by the time they did that, and if they got minor contact, like you said, it was just all too late.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all through the race we made some very good strategy calls to come in both of those safety cars at the early part of the race. And then a lot of discussion with us in the behind the scenes, working out whether or not we were going to make it. But in hindsight, we actually ended up quite comfortable.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like when you, like with us, you sort of sit there and do your fuel calculations, you base it on a flat out lap, but in endurance racing like this, there's so many times when you're off throttle for longer than what you think, and the fuel savings certainly add up over about a 40-minute period.
Yeah, that's right, and we kind of done our fuel numbers off the maximum fuel usage we were using over a lap, like you were saying, and like after the safety car, it takes a couple of laps for that fuel usage to get back up to where it needs to be in terms of maximum usage, and when you're working your way through cars, you're obviously not using as much there, so you save a couple of 100 mils here and there, and over the stint, it gives you a fair couple of litres, so it's not too bad to actually work it out, so you've got a bit of fuel in margin there just in case.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of time off throttle, especially when you're trying to follow the GT3s and that, you've got to back right out of it, and in your car, being the A-class car, you certainly do save a lot of fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a very high priority for us today to be extremely patient behind the Class C cars. We've often tripped up over them in the last few rounds, so driving as incident-free as possible was top of the list for us today, and looks like it's paid dividends.
No, you certainly did an amazing job out there, boys, and well done on the win. I'll just see if Bernie's got any more questions before we let you go.
No more questions apart from your sponsors. Do you want to give them all a shout out?
Yeah, for sure. Just start off with obviously Fusion Sim Racing. GT Amiga and Daco, TPR Engineering, Dynamic Sim Racing. I think I'm missing a couple.
Newlex Construction and GTI.com.au.
Also, thank you guys for doing the broadcast. It's great that you rock up each round and do it out of your own time, so it's good to watch back on it.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Well, thanks for popping in, and enjoy your celebrations. Well done on your win tonight. It was fantastic to watch you guys take out Class A.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bernie. Appreciate it.
Okay, folks, we're down to a couple of interviews. Our final interview, as far as the racing teams go, is TD Racing. We've got Colin Schweck down there, and they came home third in Class A, so we'll have a chat with them, and then we'll bring up Race Control to get their thoughts on tonight's race. Hi, Colin. Welcome to RRTV, and congratulations, mate. Third in Class A, and looks like you guys had a really good drive out there tonight.
Yeah, we had a really good last 4 hours of the race. Just coming back from some issues we had in the first hour, and that last little sprint after that safety car was really epic. Just pushing 100% flat out just to stay in front of Justin in that 116 car.
Yeah, that restart was amazing. It was just like a switch had been thrown. The race was all in endurance mode up until that safety car, and then all of a sudden we were in sprint race mode, and it got very hectic out there, but it looked like you kept your car well out of trouble and at the pointy end where it needed to be when it counted.
Yeah, it was crazy, that restart. I mean, we were lapping the fifth, sixth, and seventh place HPDs in our class, and they were all racing each other, so they didn't care that myself and Justin were trying to lap them as we're racing for third and fourth. And then we threw all those GT3 cars and the DPs in the mix, and it was like 5 wide. It's just crazy, and dive bombs everywhere. But everyone seemed to get through it without too many scratches, so it worked out alright.
Yeah, I was holding my breath a lot of the time. Some guys are trying to go 3 wide through chicanes and all sorts of things, and as you said, they all seem to squeeze through, so it's probably didn't look as bad. Well, it probably wasn't as bad driving as it was watching it.
Well, I was having as much time watching the brake lights in front of me as I was watching my mirrors to see who was sliding up the inside because they missed their braking points. So it was pretty hectic from the cockpit.
Yeah, I'd say it would have been, but I'm going to hand you around a bit because we've got your boss here. He might want to have a bit of a chat with you, and we've also got Mr. Adrian up here, so he might want to have a chat with you as well.
Right.
Yeah, well done today, Cole, for you and Aaron there. It was nice of Tim to come down and help me out of the in the 327. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way we wanted it to there, but when you look at today's result, that'll put you back in the lead of the championship.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate for the 188 car. I saw they got taken out because the car spun in front of them and they had nowhere to go. But their demise back to 10th will put us up front in the championship again. And I think there's only 2 rounds left, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we can stay up the top there.
I think the other thing to look at too is something we were talking about a bit earlier. There is the incident limit for each team. As we know, there's a 38 incident limit cap on the race. And if you go 10 over that, you start getting points deductions, and it'll be very interesting to see how many teams have actually gone over that cap and by how far.
Yeah, well, as you know, we were very conscious of that cap because every 10 incidents you went over it, you lost half a position effectively. So every 20 was 1 position. So we measured our incidents out and made sure we stayed under it, and we managed to achieve that. But anyone that went over it, they might as well just given up positions.
Yeah, no, well done again, mate. And I think the big thing for you guys is you haven't won a race yet this season, but just the consistency and the patience in traffic's really starting to show off this late in the season.
Yeah, we've been close. We got 2 seconds and I think three thirds, but whenever the first seems to present itself to us, someone else seems to just snatch it from us. So we're working hard to try and get it. Maybe at Le Mans. Maybe we can get it at Le Mans 24-hour.
No worries. I'll just see if Adrian's got any questions for you before we let you go, mate. And well done again.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Vinny. Cole, well done, mate. Just consistency for the team in the 137. Don't know why you gave the boss man Tim for the night. I reckon I would have chucked him in that HPD, and he would have to suffer in his jocks all night long, not driving. But anyway, I'm a bit harsher than you guys.
Yeah, he goes good in that Mercedes. He was helping us set up the HPD early in the week, and he was pushing us, so we were only just in front of him for lap time. So everyone gives him a hard time, but he keeps us honest.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's probably most underrated person that he certainly puts himself in the hard position for sure. He's probably one of the good drivers out there, and if he wasn't driving that big truck every day, I think he'd probably scare a few people on how quick he could be. But no, well done on your 3rd place. Pushing for that top step. It's there, but it's just a little bit out the reach at the moment. But like you said, hopefully that might come up soon, and we'll see you on the top step. But in the end of the day, big shout out to the rest of the boys, and then we'll let you go and we'll tidy up with the race control.
Yep, thanks guys, and thanks to Scott and all the admins for looking after us for the race there, and all of our team. We put a team effort in to set the cars up, and it seems to pay for us, so it's good. Thanks for everything, everyone.
No worries. So that was Colin Schweck from TD Racing. They finished 3rd in Class A. Fantastic job for that team. But our final interview tonight is with Race Control. We'll bring them up and get their thoughts on tonight's race.
That's funny.
Yeah, real funny. Welcome, Scott and Heath, to RRTV's Combox. And basically, what are your thoughts on tonight's race?
How exciting was that? What a race in all classes. I reckon it's probably one of the best AEC rounds I've had the pleasure of not only race controlling, but yeah, being able to watch back on the broadcast actually, Benny, but obviously because I have that set up on the side. But yeah, being able to watch it unfold and that was just epic stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely had a good tone to it tonight, didn't it? The incidents were down, the racing was hot, and the driving was standard was quite high, which was all in all a fantastic race. Probably one of the best rounds I've called, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the battle. We say it kind of every time. It's buying that ticket to the last hour, and then what you can do in the last hour as a team to jump positions and whatnot. So not only have we had guys having to work out strategy and do we pit under this safety car or do we not, and do we stay out and not take fresh tyres and all that kind of stuff. I think we really saw that type of racing and structure for the teams happen today, and especially you look at the last safety car where the 104 car stayed out, a lot of others came in, but then it put them in traffic, and then you look at Class B and you had a battle for the top three, and probably would have been the four had it not been for a bit of an incident and a drive-through penalty. But yeah, the top three battling out there, and P2 and P3 were going pretty hard at it with each other. So yeah, just very entertaining and exciting to watch, I found.
Yeah, and what were your thoughts on it, Heath?
Yeah, I thought the racing was excellent this time around. We only processed 23 or so incidents, of which 5 of those were safety cars, so that's way down on Watkins Glen, which we all know was a bit of a disaster. I think all the teams and drivers came out this round and on a really good display of hard racing, close racing, respectful racing, respecting your other competitors. Yeah, sure, there was a couple of incidents here and there, but they're going to happen, not racing hard enough if you're not going to have an incident here or there. Those things happen. We know that, we expect that. But I think there's a difference between driving smart, driving with respect to your fellow competitors, driving hard, and being reckless. And I think this time around they struck a really good balance. And I actually just want to commend all the drivers out there tonight, because I think this afternoon, I think they did a really good job this time around.
Yeah, it was definitely at a very high standard, and it was great to see all the teams there. I don't think we only had a couple of retirements throughout the whole evening as well, which was great to see. And yeah, it was good driving. I noticed there was low protest, which was also good. So all in all, it was a fantastic round. Looking forward though, what's the next round we've got coming up for the AEC?
Next round for the actual AEC will be Circuit of the Americas, which off the top of my head is another 6 hour. And in between, I think we're looking, oh gosh, maybe I should have all this information, shouldn't I?
Circuit of the Americas is the next round on the 16th of October.
And that's
a 6 hour race again, yeah. But we've got the Nords 24 hour, which is a non-championship event that's going to be held on the 24th of September.
Okay, that's going to be quite an exciting event.
That's a 24 hour event, so that'll be full on. But that's GT3 cars only, that one, and a non-championship event. A bit more of a sort of what do you call it? A spectator event, or a bit of a showcase event, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think Nordschleife would be quite exciting in 24 hour. Pity we don't have night racing, because then it would be really exciting.
Yes, the old day-night transition that we've been eagerly awaiting. But yeah, that would add to the spectacle so much. But
It'll come one day.
yeah, it will come one day. We've had to get the moving flags out of the way first. So yeah, that's got massive importance. But yeah, I mean, we've got the Nords 24, like Heath said. Then we've got the Circuit of the Americas, which is a 6-hour. And then finally, where are we looking at in November? Le Mans 24 hours. So that'll be to round out the season. So some awesome races coming up, really.
Oh, definitely. And we know Coda can really throw curveballs at drivers, can't it?
It can, and it's kind of a difficult track, and especially with some of the cars that we've got. Obviously, the HPD and the C7 are really going to have to stay away from the big yellow ripple strips there. And the GT3s may, I don't know this because I've never tested there, but may be able to kind of ride them a little bit harder. So I think it's going to be one of those tracks again where it's a section of the track where you're bundled up behind a slower vehicle, or it's not really 2x2 kind of racing. And then as you go down towards the back of the track, it's got the massive long back straight. So guys, will have to start thinking about where they want to, do their overtaking and passing of others, and make sure that it's nice and clean, and limit the amount of time, I guess, that they're spending in pit lane.
Yeah, I can confirm you won't get a GT3 over those bumps. It will destroy it.
There we go. Tim sounds like he's done a bit of testing there already.
I was leading an online race till I hit one. I wasn't happy.
Yeah, it's crazy because some of it, like the V8 Supercar, can do it pretty good. You can get the car set up to ride them really, really nice, but obviously with the GT3 with a really low body kits and aero package on them, as well as the HPD and the C7 is going to suffer quite a lot.
Yeah, I've also driven a Skip Barber over them sideways, and that doesn't work either.
Sideways. I think anything sideways doesn't really work that well, Bernie.
Puts a smile on your face, though.
Yeah. But yeah, even as Heath said, massive effort by, I think, everybody competed in this round to really neaten up and clean up the driving and their efforts behind the wheel, and we were able to obviously witness that tonight. I think the track did play a certain part or percentage in that as well, but like I've always said, it's the ability of drivers to adapt to the circuits that we put on, in the series, and learn where and when isn't or opportunity to overtake, and where is the right time and the right. So hopefully we can, one, go to Nords and have some great racing there, but go to the 6 hours of Circuit of the Americas and have another really, really great race like we saw tonight.
Yeah, I think Bernie and I won't join the 24 hour. I think they'll turn that into a mayhem, and you'll just see cars getting speared out everywhere because we'll just get frustrated and then knock them out the road.
We already have a RRTV cast team entry put aside for you guys, though.
Has it got armor piercing body shell around it, so we can actually destroy some of these drivers, or?
I'll see what I can organise for you, mate.
I think they want one of those Mario Kart ones with the banana peels out the back too.
And the red shell shooting out the front. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
See what we can do. How do
off the front of my truck for you, Adrian?
Obviously, Bernie and Adrian, you guys, broadcast and watched the race tonight, and Tim, you've drove today, and we're leading. Your car was leading there for a while after a last-minute call-up, I believe, as well, with your driver combo. But jumped in the comms box. How did you guys? What did you guys think as people watching?
from a driver's perspective, it was a lot better. A lot more people were thinking more about what they were doing. The HPDs weren't pushing through nowhere near as hard. I knew on that last restart all hell was going to break loose, but that was a 35-minute sprint, and everyone had kept their cars in position to do that, so that was always going to happen. So, but from a general point of view, I think the driving was a lot better. The only thing a few of the teams have got to really look at is like a lot of these cars pick up speed in the draft, and they sort of think they're going quicker than they are. So a bit more thinking long term from a few more people. But other than that, yeah, it's been brilliant today.
For myself, I think it was more netcode issues tonight for some reason. It was really weird. On the race, I think there was a lot more netcode issues with the racing, but on a whole, I think the driving was. I'd give them an extra, say, 80% better than what it has been for sure. So, considering I think the last few rounds, I'd put them down to a 10% of good driving standards. So, to boost them up around the 80%, I think it was pretty good. I mean, fairly average on some moves, which is going to happen. But, on a whole, I think the driving standards definitely improved, and I wasn't anywhere as critical on the boys tonight than I have been in previous rounds. So, no, it was a good turnaround, good to see. Like you said, Scott, I think the track definitely helped them. I'm going to be surprised with Coda. I think that's going to throw another curveball, and they've got to think about it once again, because it's not going to be easy to overtake on that track for sure.
Yeah, I thought.
Bernie, sorry.
Sorry, I'll just finish up here. Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic event today. Great round. It went smoothly. There was lots of up and downs and drama and all the things you want in an endurance race, but most importantly, we had some fantastic racing, some fantastic strategy, and I'm just still getting over how the temperature of the race changed from when that last safety car came out. Everyone was in endurance mode. When the safety car came in, everyone had switched their mindset straight into sprint mode, which they had to do, and the whole race dynamic just completely changed, which is it makes for entertaining and exciting viewing for all the viewers out there, so that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, I was just interesting to get, obviously your views on it, and I think you've all pretty much nailed it on the head. So, yeah, good round. The championship battle is definitely still up for grabs with the 2 rounds to go. So it's going to be interesting. I think Class C is probably. I would dare say wrapped up a bit, but I think Class A and Class B is still up for grabs there for sure. So it'll be interesting to see those teams involved and how they go about the next couple of rounds that we have.
Well, Class A is definitely up for grabs, because I can confirm tonight that Colin and Tim aren't available for the CUDA round, so I've got to jump in with Aaron, so look out.
Rightio. Does that mean drive a stint out of the way and let Aaron do his business? Is that what you're referring to?
I have pretty much told him we will be looking at the minimum driver requirement, and to make sure he doesn't drink too much water and eats well before the race, because there won't be much time to do either once it starts.
So tactics are already starting to unfold. You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah, exclusive on RRTV. Well done. Alright guys, well thanks for coming in. Congratulations, fantastic round. It was good to see you guys weren't too busy there with all the incidents that you had to deal with. It's probably a record low there, so you probably ended up having a sleep or something. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you all at Nordschleife.
Started that off halfway through the race.
I think the racing was too good to watch to have a bit of a nap, but yeah, look, we just want to give a shout out to our ongoing sponsors for the series of selby.com.au, great supporters, and what they've done for the series to enable us to continue to run it. So big thank you and shout out to them, and to Bernie, Adrian for doing the broadcast, and Tim for jumping up tonight as well and helping out. Without you guys, we don't get to go back and actually watch the action unfold. The drivers don't get to, so them to have the ability to, pick up, or go onto YouTube later on in the week and actually watch whatever else happened out on the track is really great, and we appreciate the time and the effort that you guys put into the series. So on behalf of all the admins, big thank you for that as well. To Heath and Brock, again, jumping up into race control and giving us a helping hand. Scott Party also came in today. Scott Connors gave a help once they stopped or pulled the car out. Matthew Mann jumped up as well and gave his time. So thank you to everybody who jumped up in race control and helped out. And just really appreciate it. And hopefully we can have a good clean race at Coda and continue the series in the way it presented itself today.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, guys. And we look forward to broadcasting the Coda round in October. And we're coming up towards the end of the series, so only 2 more rounds to go. Okay, folks, we're just about at the end of our broadcast tonight. Looking further into the week, of course, if you like your V8 supercar action, that will be back next Friday night. The SDRT 240 should be back, and well worth watching. It's very entertaining indeed. And then, of course, if you want more GT3 action, tune in 10:45 p.m. Saturday night for the Sim Racers Asia Clubman GT3 Championship, and they've been putting on a great show in the last couple of rounds as well, and it's well worth watching. But of course, if you can't join us live, you can catch all the replays on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com. Well, you know where it is because you're watching this video, so I don't need to tell you. But anyway, guys, thanks for popping in, Adrian and Tim. It's been a pleasure having you up here, and it's been especially good to have you up here, Tim.
No, thanks for having me again, Bernie. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie. Always a pleasure being up here, calling these races. Once again, a fantastic night. The boys did turn it on for us, so I enjoyed that. And, it's good having Tim up here as well. Just throws a little bit of dynamics in here, just changes up a little bit for the viewers, and it was good to have him up here. It definitely gave the viewers an insight on what the teams are thinking and how they're trying to run these cars around these tracks for 6 hours. So definitely a benefit to having Tim up here for the last couple of hours.
Yeah, I'll definitely second that. But anyway, folks, on behalf of Adrian Jarvis, Tim Ballinger, I'm Bernie Wiemers. Thanks for tuning in to RRTV, and we look forward to your company on the next broadcast.